Yo. Thank you very much, Barry, for those beautiful 23 months. How we doing, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs? Early heads in the house. Early heads in the house. It's a Sunday.
into sound. Gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie. Gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie. This is a journey into sound. Gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie.
Now you can see the dirty shit. Woo! We are motherfucking HD, baby. I'm married? No! Fuck marriage! We have a camera now! We are official Twitch streamers. We are official professionals. We are official premium content creators. Okay? This is no longer your everyday Twitch communist. This is your everyday Twitch communist in full HD, baby. Look at this shit. You can see every hair. Okay? You can zoom over here. It is incredible. Crassy! That is crassy! And that is only thanks to you, chat. This camera is your camera. You bought it in November. It was the target in November, and you delivered. And of course, I went and I bought it. It was a huge struggle. I now need to spend money on a different lens. This lens is low-key a little bit too zoomed in. You would think it's a little bit too zoomed in. Like, you should see me till here, right? This is how I'm supposed to be talking. This is how I'm imagining it, right? This is how I'm imagining it. Ooh, I'm Yugopnik. Ooh, thanks. So, communism, right? So I need to buy a bigger lens. But this is fine for now, until the other lens arrives. Do we like it? Because if we do, thank you. No, for real, thank you. You bought the camera. You bought the lens. You bought the cage, etc., etc. So, thank you. That's, yeah. Thank you. Face reveal when? Never! Woo! Anonymity is great and really intelligent. Woo! Bad camera is a leftist staple. I'm a sellout now. I'm a sellout, but the content is premium. Okay? So subscribe to the show because I actually reinvest into the show. I actually do. What the fuck? What happened with the light? What the hell? What happened with the light? Did I do something with the light? What the fuck happened? I don't know. I'm an HD tomato, and I'm so red right now. So I need to set up my lighting. That's my next step. I have invested in lighting. Okay, now I look normal, okay? I have invested in lighting, and I need to move it around a little bit. Like, I can be, I can do it all through the phone. I need to adjust the lighting to the new camera, but we're going to do that soon. But yeah, TLDR, we have a new camera. I think it looks good. You tell me what you think. And thank you very much for getting it for me. Thank you very, very much. The exposure spiked. Exposure spique. Why does that happen? What do you think that happens? Is that going to happen all the time? Should I be scared? Should I be scared? Anyways, we are full HD now. Your boy is back. I am back from the undisclosed location in which I am going to have my wedding in exactly 6 months. I had to go organize cake, organize the photography people, and the camera people. They're going to record during the wedding. I had a horrible experience in the municipality because my future wife is not of the nationality of the country that I have the nationality of. And in the municipality, there was this stupid ass, piece of shit, cow ass, motherfucker that worked in in one of the bureaucrat positions where you basically give the documents. She was so horrible, almost made the wife beat the living shit out of her. But because she's the only bureaucrat there that handles all the weddings, we couldn't really do anything. So I bit my tongue and I tolerated the unnecessary shit talking. She basically told us that most of our documents are quote-unquote incorrect, even though they're perfectly correct, because they've not been translated properly, even though they've been translated properly. She was just trying to upsell us to some sort of translator that's her contact that she will then get a percentage off of. All I'm trying to say is I wish that lady an eternity of diarrhea. I wish her non-terminal, but nonetheless extremely annoying diseases. I wish her a 8 out of 10 tooth pain at least 5 days a month. I wish that lady all of that. Okay? Thank you, Yotun, and thank you, Random, for the subscriptions. Thank you very kindly. Still wish you would flip the camera like you look on the deprogram videos. I keep giving shit to JT that he needs to flip me on the deprogram videos as well. No, the flipped, it doesn't look good. That's evil but valid. No, she's evil, and she should go and fucking jump off a... No, I can't say any of this. It's been a long time. Like I was this close putting my kneecap into a 65-year-old woman's fucking face. This fucking close. These people that work in these fucking institutions that have been working in those institutions for the last 60 fucking years, whose entire job is looking at three papers and then ticking the box. Only people from developing world, only Eastern Europeans understand what I'm saying right now. Only Eastern Europeans understand what I'm saying right now. And the only feeling of power that they can express is when they postpone, delay, complicate the particular bureaucratic process they are there to basically tick a box on. They take every opportunity to be absolute pieces of shit because that's the only thing they have in their life. And I do not feel sorry for them when they behave in this particular way. When they behave like normal, decent human beings, I do feel sorry for them. When you behave like a piece of shit, you're a fucking piece of shit. Good fucking bye. Thank you, Pig Old Boosie, and thank you, Potato Enjoyer. 11 months and 8 months. Thank you very much. Oh, and Garlo Mango. Thank you for the streak. Let's go hype train in the beginning. First HD hype train. Am I right, chat? Am I right? Man speeding in life. What? What the fuck?
Wonderful.
Okay, anyways, welcome in, chat. It is Sunday, the 18th of January. We are starting our new style here on Yugopnik Twitch. Full HD, 4K, 5K, 11K, 19K, 24K, carat gold, motherfucker. Welcome in. It is exactly 7:25. We're starting our stream late today, but we're going to also end it late today. There's a lot of news to cover. It's going to be news heavy, but there's also going to be some theory. There's also going to be some philosophy. It's going to be a very interesting stream. I'm not going to list out what we're going to do. You can see it in the title. And
wonderful, a new child soldier. Subscriber.
You are all normal human beings that know how to read, hopefully. Thank you, Aiden Cooper. Thank you very much for the 3 months in advance, you fucking legend. And thank you, FM Masochist, baby, for our first lesson. Crazy hamburger! Make that hype train go like crazy. At this pace, I will have to buy, I don't know, like $100,000 camera in order to make up for all these taxpayers, you know? Thank you very much, Masochist. Thank you very much. New camera will make the eventual crazy hamburger vid top tier. 100. 100. I'm going to buy a bunch of like little microphones that I'm going to stick on here. And now you can finally see just how good my vest is because last time I was streaming, it was with a normal webcam. Look at this vest. Look at this vest. Look at this vest. I'm sorry. Look. This is straight from the future, my dog. Like, look at this. Look at this. Wait, let me... I'm squinting.
Wonderful, a new child soldier. Subscriber.
Look at this. This is... Like, I am literally a star citizen. One, two, three. Oh, you can hear me, okay? Apologies for that one. I got too excited over my vest, okay? Maybe I'm an unk. You know you're an unk when you're starting to get excited about sleeveless vests so much that you sabotage your own stream. Thank you, Aiden Cooper, for the 5 gifties, baby. Thank you very much for developing world. Taxes. Jesus, my brain is slow. I'm very stupid today. I've been traveling yesterday I drove for around 8-9 hours, and then I went out drinking because I'm a daft cunt. No, I was like, I'm so tired. I just spent 3 days organizing a wedding. I need to bro the fuck out. I went out and I broed the fuck out. Actually, I drank with a Russian friend that did a dry year. He didn't drink for the entirety of 2025. And he used to be my biggest drinking buddy. And now, as we enter 2025, he's going to drink again. And I had my first drink with my boy when he returned from the deserts, from the Guinness deserts, the whiskeyless deserts. Okay. It was very good. He kind of low-key got me drunk. I don't know how. I thought it was going to go the other way around, like he has had no training. But no, the guy's just a natural-born talent. Like he got back on it as if it's, as if it's a bicycle. What kind of cake are you getting for your wedding? I think it's going to be a Raffaello or something. And the wedding itself, the cake itself, I'm not going to spoil. I'm just going to show you photos after the wedding. The grifting is going to be disgusting in March. You know why? Because I'm literally going to make this into the wedding budget. I'm going to make the target the wedding budget. And then we're going to try and pay for the wedding with the streams. I think that's cute, low-key. A Russian dry year, that's nuts. It was very weird. He basically stopped having a personality because his entire personality was, hello, I am drinker man. Of course, that's not the case. That was a trap. I was testing whether you're a racist. People were like, yeah, that makes sense. This entire ethnicity, they're just alcoholic, degenerate, wife beaters. That means you're a racist. Caught you, racist. You fucking racist. Anyway, Cyber Train continuing. Level 6. Let's go chew, motherfucking chew. You better put me in the Western Oiler category. It's only like me and Barry. Absolutely. No, I will. You're at 6. If you no, you're actually at 8 because you gave how many consecutive? 3 consecutive. So throughout the stream, when you give 2 more, just remind me and I'll add you in the Western tax counter, my dear friend. Anyways, let's start out immediately with some breaking news. Main topic is going to be ice and Greenland. Let's start out with something that came to us from Fox News 1 hour ago and take it from there. Actually, no, from CNN. I'll take this one.
Large protests in Greenland and Denmark as President Trump escalates his threats to take over the
set up something so we can donate for the wedding budget without Twitch taking a cut. You're so smart, Big City. That's crazy. That would be funny. Like a wedding budget and just put it like a separate thing. And then people that want to support the show, support it here. And people that want to buy us drinks at the wedding, support the wedding. That's hilarious.
Semi-autonomous Danish territory. He ramped up the pressure on the Arctic island today, saying he'll impose new tariffs on Denmark and several other European countries unless a deal is reached to purchase Greenland. Today, a large crowd of people taking to the streets in Greenland, telling Trump they're
1 minute and 30 left of the hype train. Use it, baby, use it. Okay, I want a poll in chat. Which I definitely will not use to gamble. Will the United States use military tactics, aka will the United States physically intervene in Greenland or no? Basically, will the U.S. invade Greenland or no? I'm not saying annex. I'm not saying purchase. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying using military force to do something against Greenland in 2026. I will please mods make a poll. The options are yes or no, and I'll say if I agree or disagree. So when you're saying yes, yeah, I have my money on that. I'm thinking about literally putting my money on that.
their homeland.
No, they will just purchase it. Let's see.
Is not for sale. The same message was heard in protests in several Danish cities earlier today, with thousands taking part. A U.S. delegation of bipartisan U.S. lawmakers is in Copenhagen, meeting with leaders from Denmark and Greenland. And amid the growing tension, several European nations have sent military personnel to Greenland for joint exercises. We've got team coverage of these developments. We'll go to those protests in Greenland.
Apparently, there are 2 Slovenians that are deployed in Greenland. Will we finally have revenge for Yugoslavia against the Yankees? Let us see. Can mods do a poll, please? Is it difficult to make a poll? Is it this difficult to make a poll?
In a
Should
moment.
I do it myself?
But let's begin with Betsy Klein and these new tariffs that President Trump is promising. Betsy, what more can you tell us?
Right, Federico. During President Trump's second term, we have seen him use tariffs and specifically the threat of tariffs as a key negotiating tool. And he appears to be doing that right now with Greenland. That is the Arctic island that is controlled by Denmark that Trump says the U.S. needs to control for national security purposes to counter threats from both China and Russia. Its strategic placement in that Arctic region. This, of course, has spawned major pushback from Greenland, from Denmark, and from other
There you go. I created the poll. Oh my God, that was advanced mathematics.
top European allies, with many
Everybody
deploying
vote.
military personnel to the island this week, and it could have significant economic impacts on those countries, as well as top European countries that are key trading partners with the United States. The president had noted that
It already has. He has imposed tariffs. Okay, 10% to pretty much all of the Scandies. I'm sorry, Scandies. Everything's going to get more expensive by 10% because the president of Empire decided he wanted the white land that they call green. That's it. That's the entirety of the premise. But to an extent, serves you right for choosing to be allies with someone who has historically proven time and time again that they treat their allies worse than sometimes they treat their adversaries. The TLDR, for those of you who might be new here, when it comes to my analysis of unipolarity, multipolarity, and more importantly, empire in decline, what we are seeing here is the loot chest of American empire, which includes its allies, growing ever smaller and smaller, both due to the fact that the United States is in later stages of capitalism and that it has actual competition coming to it, mostly from Asia. The U.S. has smaller and smaller, let's explain it in Fortnite terms, smaller and smaller loot boxes to open by itself, let alone share with its allies. And that's causing what? What is it causing? It is causing additional contradictions when it comes to the perspective that America's allies have towards the very alliance that they've followed for so long, because they're not getting any of the loot of empire. So they have to do the grunt work of empire. They have to deploy troops. They have to use American logistics. They have to completely rely on the American economy. They need to forget their sovereignty, always place themselves second to Burgerland. But for a very long time, Burgerland provided, right? Burgerland gave you stuff. But now there's less stuff to be handed around. Hell, there is so little stuff to be pirated that now empire is not looking inwards, but it's looking at its former allies not as fellow sharks, but fish and sheep to be eaten. That is the simplest possible explanation, and it is, well, 100% correct. If you're a mob, which basically empire is, and you have 100 soldiers, right? You have 100 soldiers. When everything is going really well, everybody eats good, right? You're racketeering, you're selling coke, you're selling H, you hold most of the neighborhoods, blah, blah, blah. But then new designer drugs start popping up. Other dealers from other towns with better logistics start moving into your territory. Now there's less and less and less money to be made in your city. So what do? Those 100 henchmen that were loyal to you, that are probably divided among, like, you have your own 40 guys, and the other 60 guys are other families, but that are under the umbrella of your family. What do? You start racketeering them. You start treating them as enemies. Or, best case scenario, you hope that they are stupid schmucks and that they will do the same amount of work they've done before, but for less loot, for less cash, for less white. That's how it works. When you base the majority of your development on imperialism, other people's money eventually runs out. Isn't that funny? The very terminology they use against socialists, that socialism sounds good in theory, but in praxis, everyone else's money eventually runs out, so you can't manage socialism. Isn't it funny how one of the greatest contradictions of capitalism, turned into this mega violent, unclenching, unyielding imperial machine that it eventually cannot sustain itself, at least in one particular place, in one particular country. Capitalism does not have any allegiance to any flag, nation, people, creed, or color. It milks them dry, or in the case of the United States of America, it rides them like a war horse until it is no longer relevant for its own growth. But before we come to the American warhorse being irrelevant, the periphery of empire gets slapped around first. And what is more of a periphery of empire than fucking Denmark and fucking Greenland, with all due respect to people from both of those geographical locations. So yes, that is how you should frame it in your mind. That is at least my modest suggestion as your today's entertainer slash educator.
Could use tariffs on these countries to apply some pressure, but putting names and a number on it today in a post to social media. I want to read to you a little bit of that very lengthy post. He said, starting on February 1st, 2026, all of the above mentioned countries, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland, will be charged a 10% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States of America. On June 1st, 2026, the tariff will be increased to 25%. This tariff will be due and payable until such time as a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. Of course, giving officials just 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks until February 1st to find some sort of negotiated agreement to avoid those pricey tariffs. And
the wild thing also is that when Trump eventually claims Greenland for America, there is nothing to stop him from claiming the rest of Denmark or the Norwegian oil fields. He will continue to take until someone stops him, and Europe won't stop him if they continue to elect far-right nationalist conservative politicians. That is 100% correct. But it's not even about him setting a precedent. Precedents are irrelevant. International law is irrelevant. Countries trying not to act as hypocrites is no longer the game. Okay? One can argue it never was. In unipolarity, when there is one player who is bigger than the police, who is bigger than international law, is bigger than anyone else, in unipolarity, you have no rules and regulations. What are rules and regulations if they are not enforced? They're Santa Claus stories for adults. That's what they are. They are irrelevant. Might, as always, makes right. But unfortunately, in a world where one guy is bigger than everyone else, that guy decides how the game is played. We just pretended that it didn't work that way until recently, but we no longer are. And if I can say that there's one thing I appreciate about the Trump administration is from the perspective of, people from the developing world, at least he tells us in the eye, I want your shit. Sit, bitch, I want your shit. I don't have to sit, I don't have to listen about how you're liberating me and bringing me, the glory of democratic Western values. No, you just tell me I'm stronger, give me shit, or I kill you. I appreciate that far more than the hypocrisy of the Bush era. I'm Irish, and we are expecting Trump in the lead up to St. Patrick's Day in March to start talking about how Ireland should become another U.S. state. We would rather be nuked. Hey, okay, maybe we can long game this, okay? If you really think about it, if the United States of America conquers the planet, then we've unified the planet. Then it's just the United States of the planet, which is kind of nice, which is kind of nice. But it's not going to be global socialism, aka comunismus. It's going to be global capitalism. Will U.S. invade Greenland? We have 59% saying yes. Okay, I am putting $1 million on Polymarket on U.S. invading Greenland. Wish me luck, guys. If you don't see me streaming ever again, no, even if I made $1 million, I would still stream. I was wondering why we were this zoomed into this lady's face. I'll match. Let's go, Anarchy Reigns. Subscribe right now. Support the show. We have 0% sponsors, 0% ads, so that we can reach Gamba point and we can Gamba together. We are, 97 subs away. I would really like to Gamba today. Sundays are for Gamba. Sundays are for the Gen. If you don't know what Gamba is, write !Gamba and you will see what it is. We are the only channel on Twitch where you can actually gamble. And that's how we sustain the show. So there's communists here, and then there's gambling degenerates. And the gambling degenerates uplift us. It's kind of like when Stalin robbed banks. Many communists did, not just him, but robbed banks in order to support revolution. Well, we opened casinos to fund the revolution. We're like Native Americans in that way. What's this?
Okay, I think we're almost there.
Really?
Yeah,
what
you
is
look
that?
like a real fucked up piece of shit mess.
Well, honey, I started as one. I might as well end as one.
Can I ask how many times you were hit?
I was hit at least 12 times, maybe even 10 times.
And was that counting or not counting gang violence?
Oh my God, Trevor.
Gang violence?
We're moving on from that immediately. Guys, Spencer told me to say it.
You should never listen to Spencer. That's like the #1 rule of this hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're almost there.
Thank you, Gobby Trash Goblin, for getting us closer to that Gamba moment. And thank you, Trekas. Yo. Thank you for the gifty. Thank you very much. Well, time to be alive. It truly is. Smoshing Yugopnik on one screen.
Wonderful. A new
Pretty
child
wild.
soldier.
I too have grown it
subscriber.
up. I too have grown it up on the smoshes. And the other man, whose name I cannot say because I would be saying the worst slur. You know that guy? What? How the fuck was he named that? To this day, I'm baffled. Guess who I'm talking about? Like a very old school YouTuber that was basically doing Smosh stuff, whose name you can't say. How was he not immediately banned for having that name? Mind you, not a black person. Yeah, what Call Me Space Invader said that I cannot say. Yeah. That one. Crazy burger guy. No, I can't call his name. I think he's called Fat Man. Mayonnaise Higa. Oh, I'll take that as a compliment, dude.
Meetings this week with top officials from Greenland, from Denmark, along with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, to try to resolve this. And they agreed to keep talking, but there wasn't any clear resolution reached there. The president has also suggested that the possibility of leaving the NATO alliance remains on the table. Listen.
Please do that. Do that. Please. Please do that. Do that. Please do that. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot, chat. That's hot. You can't lie. Don't lie to me. You know that's hot. You know that's hot. Listen, guys. What is NATO? NATO is the United States of America telling a bunch of European countries, "Hey, your interests are the same as my interests because capitalism good, communism bad." Then communism kind of to an extent disappears from the Soviet Union and from Yugoslavia, and they tell us from China. And they're like, okay, now we can chill a little bit more, but let's keep this union so that we can stop the Eastern barbarian hordes. Now it's no longer communism versus capitalism. Now it's the Eastern barbarian hordes. Let's keep them at bay. We don't like. We have a garden here in Western Judeo fucking Christian words. White, okay, white people must look out for each other. So let's look out for each other. This is NATO, right? But now motherfuckers be like, well, why do I have to ally with the fucking Eurocucks? I could just make the Eurocucks do whatever I tell them. I don't have to. Why am I paying for majority of the stuff? Hey, Eurocucks, increase your spending on NATO from the GDP by 5%. They all do it. Okay, then why do I... What? What I'm trying to say is the United States of America, in its foreign policy outlook, has realized that its relationship to European powers no longer has to be one in which they pretend to be friends, but one where they can very openly state and tell the Eurocucks to listen or fucking die. That's side number one. Side number two is kind of low-key brilliant. It's not working out, but kind of low-key brilliant. Point number two is, wait, why are we still doing the Russia shit? It's not the Soviet Union anymore. This is a capitalist country. They're kind of white. Kind of white, I guess. I guess it can work. Why not just work with them? I don't understand. Why not work with them? It's not working out because the Russians have more pride than that. And they have their own individual gripe against the Yanks. I'm talking pre-Ukraine war, right? Which is complicating this potential relationship from forming. But it's definitely a conversation. A conversation that I talked about this 2 years ago in my video on Tucker Carlson, right? That was his big pitch. He's like, we are completely incompatible with China in every shape or form because they are a culture too different to ours, variation, and they're socialists, they're communists. We cannot work with this system. So we have to work with the Russians. Why the fuck are we fighting most of the countries in the Middle East? This is stupid. And why the fuck do we keep giving money to the Europeans? They are no longer relevant. Hell, Russia is a potential ally down the line against the People's Republic of China, or at least as a neutral party to a potential conflict, indirect conflict with the People's Republic of China, is a better ally than the Europeans ever could be. Okay? Why not try that path? So yeah, two things. They are looking for alternative relationships than the ones they have only with the Europeans, because they have understood that they don't need to negotiate with the Europeans. They have completely pussy whipped them. And number two, of course, number two is looking at alternative allies. That's it. I always thought Trump would try to turn Russia against China, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, not for now. For now, definitely not. But you put in haha, that's funny. Putin dies, you put in somebody like Navalny, and you will have the greatest gobbler of American imperial dick for the next 150 years, dude.
Put the candy in the bag!
Oh, how cute. A little bank robber.
Where did you find a video of my son? Why are you showing videos of my son? Who allowed you to record my son?
Oh my god, he can't get away with this.
He didn't.
Why do you look like you always rush B? Because, as we all know, your mother is always chilling at B.
That the possibility of leaving the NATO alliance remains on the table. Listen.
Pull out of NATO if it doesn't help you acquire Greenland. If it doesn't lead the way.
Well, we're going to see. NATO has been dealing with us on Greenland. We need Greenland for national security very badly. Yeah, we're talking to NATO.
Subscriber.
Now, a new CNN poll indicates that this policy push does face stiff headwinds from the American public, in addition to those protesters that we are seeing today in Greenland and in Denmark. 75% of Americans in that CNN poll say that they oppose Trump's efforts to take.
Yo, Finks, I love you. Yugo, great deprogram episode. Which one? Thank you, Finks. We have so many good ones. The latest one on Venezuela is one of the best episodes I've ever recorded. Diego Ruzarin, which all Spanish speakers in chat should immediately follow. Can I get a shout out to Diego Ruzarin's Twitch account? This guy has like 10 million followers everywhere. But if you're not from Mexico or from Spanish-speaking South America, you might not have heard about him because all of his content is in that language, which of course it should be. That's based as fuck. If you speak Spanish, you should definitely check Diego out. Diego is, we don't agree on 100%, but I don't agree on 100% with fucking anyone except, I don't know, my future wife, because of course I agree with everything. Future wife, please don't beat me. Like all true future husbands should. We agree on everything. But he is pretty smart. Speaking about the Venezuela one, I had never heard of this guy outside of the D program. He's literally bigger than me, JT, Hakeem combined times 11. He's as big, one could say he is as big as Hassan, but in South America to an extent. The Rev Thought episode was also great. I love Rev Thought. Just spent less than 10 minutes looking up Ryan Higa to figure out what he's up to now, until I realized he's literally been live on Twitch for the past 20 minutes. That is so funny. You are such a main character. The world revolves around you, my friend, dude. Wait, thank you, Anne. I'll send it. Wait, where is it? There you go. He even on Twitch, motherfucker streams once a week. He has more followers than me. This guy is insane. This guy is fucking insane. There you go, Diego Ruzarin. The Nigeria episode was, again, one of the best episodes we've ever did. Yeah, follow Diego Ruzarin, listen to his stuff. If you're a Spanish speaker, he's incredible. He's really, 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 really fucking smart. Like, he talks philosophy the way I do. He talks socialist theory the way Hakeem does, and he's got the production value of JT. He's pretty based.
Control.
He's also very based. Like, don't expect this is not, his stream is not a U.S. stream. Okay, he does not follow the sentimentalities of American culture. It's what you will hear this man call people all sorts of shit. So he's a violent motherfucker in all the best of ways.
Of Greenland. Many of the president's own supporters are against this move, so clearly he needs to do more to sell this unpopular policy to the American public. Frederica.
All right, Betsy Klein, thank you so much. Let's go now to Greenland, where we find Nick Robertson.
Let's go to Gamba. Come on, chat. Come on, chat. You're so fucking close. I mean, you're not, but you see this number? We got to hit this number. You see this number, Western taxpayers? Absolutely pathetic. Only one Westerner out of 640 people You're telling me there's only one rich Westerner in here out of 640 people? I don't believe you. Yes, I'm talking to you, rich Westerner, through this incredibly HD camera that I can now buy, thanks to beautiful gamblers and subscribers and taxpayers such as yourself. Jesus, I look good. Fuck me, I'm feeling myself. Damn, dude. Oof, so clean. Sorry, I traveled yesterday, so all my clothes are in the wash. That's why I'm dressed in a fucking 0 out of 10 fit, but still. Shit, it's so HD, man. This is so HD. Cost a pretty penny, though, but it's so good, dude. So good.
So, Nick, tell us about these protests taking place in that country today.
It is. Thank you, my friend.
Very popular protest by, I think, even conservative estimates. There's 20,000 people in this town, and perhaps a third to maybe half of them came out on the streets. And it was a very sort of simple message to the White House: Greenland's not for sale. Ask anyone on the streets, as we did today, and that was the message. Dig down a little bit, and you get flavors of what else they would like to see. They would like to see independence in the future for Greenland. But it was very much sort of focused around families today. The Prime Minister came along. He told the local broadcaster here in Nuuk in Greenland that had been in Denmark and he wanted to come back here. Is attending a lot of.
This is a relatively decent example of why federalism is sometimes a little bit smarter than just pursuing self-determination. And don't shoot the messenger. Oh my God, Yugopnik supports colonization. No. I support diverse countries in which every ethnicity has the equal rights for self-representation as every other ethnicity, existing in an as large type of a federation as possible, inside of as big of a structure as possible. If you believe that every fucking house should be its own independent nation state, leave my fucking chat, you fucking ultra-nationalist troglodyte, okay? But the main point, I don't fucking stand for that here. But the reason I'm mentioning this potentially, the fact that it is in a federation, hell, in this case, in a much worse thing, in a fucking kingdom, Jesus Christ, I'm going to shoot myself, allows for it to negotiate with far greater power than it would have if it was fully independent. Imagine if Greenland did not have the negotiating capacity of the entire European Union, which is already not doing enough. But imagine if they didn't have that either, right? Imagine if they didn't have that either. There would be no Greenland. Like the Americans would not be negotiating, okay? It would be like Puerto Rico or something, but I don't know, different. So yeah, you get my point. We are stronger together. We always are. To try and unite nations into a larger structure does not mean erasing their individual cultures and ways of life. To the contrary, by uniting into larger structures, we limit or at least lower the chances of conflict and eventual real colonization and destruction of said ways of life, cultures, and nationalities. And if the first thing you're thinking is, but if we unite everything in a larger and larger federation, then motherfuckers going to be having a lot of sex, and then some of the cultures might die off just through breeding. There is no difference between you and a white supremacist who believes in white genocide, okay? If through a period of 1,000 years, two cultures that exist in the same federation mix so much that neither of the original pure forms exist anymore, but a new in my opinion, even more beautiful form, born out of the greatest aspects of those two cultures, is created. If that idea sounds nasty to you, you should read a history book, number one. And number two, you are like actually a fucking bigot. Like you believe in World of Warcraft races. We must oh no, don't let the elves have sex with the goblins. We must keep the elves and the goblins separate. They cannot operate inside of they cannot have the same nation. Like, no, a Frenchman and a German are not a goblin and an elf.
Wonderful, a new child soldier.
They're the same species, my guy. Thank you very much, Grandmother Willow, for your $5. Thank you very much, Willow. In World of Warcraft, the most OP character is a mixed race one. There you go. Didn't that make orcs? There you go. And orcs are beautiful. Aren't orcs lovely? No, Slavs are orcs. You can't take that away from us. We are orcs. I always play orc. Franks are technically German. Yeah, 999. I know you're getting my point, but now you're trying to make me angry. Okay, but Slav women are elves. No, they're the biggest orcs. Are you fucking kidding me? Slav women are the most violent thing I've ever seen in my life or interacted with.
Orcs in Denmark, but he wanted to be here to be part of the protest here.
No need for apologies. I'm fucking with you, Triple. What the hell, dude? You've been here for a while. You know me.
The protest marched all the way through the town and ended up right outside the U.S. consulate. And there was the Prime Minister of Greenland on a snowy outcrop of rock right above the U.S. consulate, waving a big Greenland flag, giving a big speech in Greenlandic to the people gathered there. There was somebody else, another politician there who was speaking a bit in English. Again, that very simple, clear message. Greenland is not for sale. We don't want to be part of the United States. And I talked to some youngsters there as well, a group of young people. They were 20 years old. They told me in their first jobs, and this is their future they're talking about. And they told me how they felt about how many people they'd seen come out today with this message.
I did not expect so many to be here, but it warms my heart to know that we are all united together to stand by and fight Trump.
And what's your message to the president?
Our message is that Greenland is our country. We cannot be bought. We are people, and he should stop whatever he's doing because we are the people of Greenland.
So what you could hear being shouted in the background there in the local language is Greenland, Greenland. The protests went on for about an hour and a half, and every few minutes people would be chanting Greenland, Greenland. The fact that
oh my God, this is insane journalism. Whoa. They are sorry, that was what? What was it? When they switch the camera too fast and you have to say something, you're like, the people, as you can see, they are walking and they are speaking, they are hugging, and they are holding up flags, as you can see. They're walking really quickly. They seem very motivated. Okay, some are wearing jackets. Okay, some are wearing hats. There are a lot of glasses here.
that it ended.
Peak investigative when you have 1 out of 10 in observation in an RPG game.
Outside the U.S. consulate, really part of that message to President Trump. But people I spoke to, those young people as well, they told me they're genuinely living in fear every night that this could be the last night that the U.S. troops could come here. There's a genuine fear about that at the moment.
That fear palpable, and the number seen in the number of people who are turning out for those protests. Nick Robertson, thank you so much. All right, we're watching large protests take place in Greenland and Denmark today as President Trump escalates his threats to take over this semi-autonomous Danish territory. Trump ramped up the pressure on the Arctic island today, saying he'll impose new tariffs.
Whether they go into Greenland or not is irrelevant. I mean, no, it's not irrelevant. Sorry, no, it would be huge if they go into Greenland. It would be huge, but in a grander scheme of things, as people like to say, we all see where this is going to go. Link it back to everything I said earlier. I don't want to repeat myself.
Tariffs on Denmark and several other European countries unless a deal is reached to purchase.
You cannot buy your way out of that particular contradiction. Once you run out of other people's money, once you can no longer sustain your empire on the looting of the developing world to the same rates you could loot at in the previous decades, there will be infighting amongst those in empire and empire's periphery. The main thing that has kept the United States and the European Union in a good relationship is that they could go and rob shit together. But now there's not enough shit to rob. So eventually, this relationship will crumble. That is why I keep shouting like crazy that there should be a populist, patriotic, unironically, yes, a populist, patriotic, leftist, class-conscious, European, anti-American movement that is anti-American first and socialist second. Okay, the anti-American shit is what's supposed to bring them in, and then we're going to give them class consciousness, etc., etc. Anti-American in which form? The European Union does not have the capacity right now for conversations about being pro-China. That would not be populist, quote-unquote populist. You know what I mean? I use it in the liberal, as I use it the way liberals use it, right? There's no space for that. There's no space for an alliance between the European Union with China as an alternative to the United States. Let's replace one with another. No. The pitch should be European sovereignty first, European sovereignty second, European sovereignty third, European sovereignty fourth and fifth. Relative isolationism and quite literally being the League of Independence, the way Yugoslavia was, right? Europe trades with everyone, participates in nobody's shit, right? Isolates, turns itself into a continent-sized fucking, hopefully more left-wing Singapore. That's supposed to be the pitch. And I really think that pitch can be sold to so many people, both leftists and even like European, but actual European, quote-unquote, patriots that understand that the American boot does not taste that good. It's a very, 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 very decent pitch. Isn't DN25 kind of like that in their messaging? To an extent, it is. It is good. Yes, it is. It is. But the problem that DN25 has, and that any movement that would like to espouse this has, is not only do they not get funding, because what rich American would fund this, okay? It's not getting funding. It has an even bigger problem. The second any anti-American voice grows in popularity on the European continent, the Americans bury it with billions, with trillions of fucking dollars, and the Russians bury it with a couple of $1 billion, right? The Americans invest like crazy in like Eurosceptic, pro-American, pro-ultra accelerationism into annihilating our country, Britain-style type of politics. And Russia invests in whoever's the biggest contrarian, because it is not in its interest to see, herder, sovereign Europe, blah, blah, blah. But the scale of financial intervention in the political scheme, the political system of Europe by Russia in comparison to the United States is absurd. Is absurd. Like, dark Russian money in European politics. Dude, billionaires from America donate money to your far-right parties. They show up at your rallies. You have American politicians showing up and supporting openly European far right parties and so on. If you want to talk about Russia intervening in your elections, which sure it probably sends, briefcases over the border. Sure, every country probably does that, but to compare it to what the Americans do would be absurd. So yeah, there is a pitch to the Europeans that could be very chill. And if you were, an electoralist and so on, if you're a young whippersnapper in Brussels or, you're entering your local party, start giving that pitch. And I think generally everybody in Europe, all true socialist and communist parties, like anti-imperialist parties, have the potential to wash off a percentage of blood off of Europe's hands that it has been covered in for the last fucking 7 centuries. But let's not talk a millennia ago. Let's even talk since World War II. So no, European socialists, don't play the whole fucking game. Oh my God, we're all evil. We want Europe to collapse in on itself. Okay, it's great, it's funny. Yeah, balkanized Germany. So fucking hilarious. Yeah, sure, we can shitpost and chat about that. But if you want a potential legitimate movement with a relatively legitimate pitch that a normal person can hear and potentially agree with, that is what I say. That is what I believe could really help boost. Because look at Trump's giving it to you. He's giving it to you. There you go. Oh my God, this is the coolest camera ever. Thank you to people like Punkies with the 5 gift subs for allowing me to have a camera like this. No, man, this is a complete game changer, dude. This is a complete game changer. What the fuck? Is this what rich people feel like? I feel like a rich person right now. And look at how cool the AK looks right now. You don't see it, but you see it. It's really nice. I'm just going to get a bigger lens so I have like a bigger... Shouldn't we focus on our imperialism first? Yes, you should. And that should be the whole meme. The whole meme should be, we're doing imperialism for the United States. We should no longer be doing imperialism for the United States. We should no longer be doing imperialism, period. Let's develop Europe fully sovereign, fully independent, fully neutral, do our own fucking thing. We help nobody, well, we stop nobody. We literally do nothing win, okay? Because you can't pitch them, ally with China, that's not going to sell, right? Or you're going to get assassinated. Like, the fuck are you talking about? But if you're like, neither Beijing nor Washington, as cringe as it might sound, it is a sellable pitch. It is a profoundly sellable pitch. European, partly thanks to you, I've been feeling more optimistic. We've seen stuff moving, including on Israel-Palestine. Absolutely. As disgusting as it might sound, what was happening in Gaza was a political gift to the left because it's created more socialists than 1,000 Bernie Sanders combined. Good pitches don't make for doable policy. We can't all be Singapore. International balance of payments needs to be reckoned with. Trading with everyone necessitates internationally determined guardrails to what you can do internally. Yes, I agree. But I'm talking about the pitch. I'm not talking about what you do after the pitch. I'm your marketing guy. How you will create, how you will redesign the logistics of your domestic and foreign policy, and how you're going to create, the let's say the pathways of capital that you will have to now redraw because you are no longer married to the United States, will be a pretty long and complicated process. But at least you won't be giving the Americans your territory. You get what I mean? Like here we're comparing some relative political and economic instability brought about by the divorce of Europe from the United States versus like the United States eventually eating you, literally eating you. But yes, when I said like complete neutrality, obviously that's impossible. I'm saying complete neutrality is a pitch. You can't be neutral. If anybody thinks that Switzerland was neutral, you are a very beautiful, nice, and naive person.
Purchase Greenland. The protesters in Greenland telling Trump today that their homeland is not for sale. The same message was heard in protests in several Danish cities earlier today, with thousands taking part. A U.S. delegation of bipartisan U.S. lawmakers is in Copenhagen, meeting with leaders from Denmark and Greenland. And amid the growing tension, several European nations have sent military personnel to Greenland for joint exercises. CNN's Betsy Klein is joining us right
Including Slovenian femboys, okay?
now. Betsy, good to see you again. What more are you learning about these tariffs and Trump's threats to annex Greenland?
Well, Federica, starting in his first term and steadily escalating ever since, President Trump has been emphatic that the U.S. must have control of Greenland for national security purposes to combat rising threats from China, from Russia. This, of course, has spawned major pushback from Greenland, from Denmark.
That is the funniest part about the entire pitch. What is the potential threat by Russia and China? Ooh, they're gonna come and take your territory, right? That's the threat. They come and take your territory. So me, America, will protect you from Russia or China coming and taking your territory by taking your territory. What? What did you? What? 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 I like very much, very good, 10 out of 10. What? It's the best offer I can give you. Listen, somebody was going to take it away from you. It's literally the logic of a drug dealer. Somebody would have sold the crack. Okay. Why can't it be me?
Which controls Greenland as well as top European allies. And that escalated once more today when the president laid out a tiered tariff threat. And this threatens to potentially rattle markets and really disrupt key trading partner relationships. I want to read to you from the president's post to social media. He says, starting on February 1st, 2026, all of the above mentioned countries, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland, will be charged a 10% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States of America. On June 1st, 2026, the tariff will be increased to 25%. This tariff will be due and payable until such time as a deal is reached for the complete and total.
Remember how unipolarity good actually and leads to greater levels of stability. Remember how some people make that point.
Purchase of Greenland. Just under 2 weeks there until February 1st for those leaders to reach a deal.
Remember how one country having an economy that is so inflated that it is so fat that it pushes all other economies out of the car if it chooses to, out of every seat. Okay. Cartoon style, Tom and Jerry style, inflates the entirety of the car like a balloon. Remember how that's actually like a normal state of affairs, how that is an efficient way of governing our planet. Thank you, Corrupted Save, for the $5, your first $5. Thank you for your taxes. You see, only one Westerner has paid their taxes. There's been like 4 or 5 developing world chatters paying their taxes. Westerners just invading Greenland and hoarding all their wealth, while developing world chatters know how to fucking do it. Thank you, Corrupted Save. Somebody give Corrupted Save a sub. Corrupted Save just gave you 5 subs. Now you guys give Corrupted Save a sub. That is how socialism works. From each according to their ability to each according to their need, okay? Corrupted Save's ability was to give 5. So he gave 5, or she or they. And now your ability might be smaller,
Wonderful.
but
A
you
new
can still do
child
it. What's
soldier,
up,
I mean,
Oregonian bum?
subscriber.
Have you been lurking today? Very nice to see you, Oregonian bum. Everybody go and follow Oregonian bum. Dear friend of the show, also streams. Really smart. Thank you.
With President Trump, and we are hearing from
Yeah, this is the community that I fucking built in this motherfucker, okay?
top European.
The economy of Yugopnik Twitch. Bro, trust me, bro. I got the scheme fucking figured out, bro. You gift 5 subs, and then somebody gifts you a subscription. So you get a subscription. No, bro, don't buy yourself a subscription or use your Prime. No, how we do it here is you buy 5 gift subs, and then somebody else gifts you a sub. Why do we do it like that? It's definitely not a pyramid scheme thought up by the streamer himself in order to turn 1 sub into 6 subs. Definitely not. Moreover, beyond these general ties, a more direct interconnection can be observed between fascism and war in Italy and in Germany, because these two countries lack raw materials and markets because they're in the category of hungry nations as opposed to sated nations. Yes, like once your economy becomes big enough, you automatically, to an extent, become a hungry nation. But from the context of satiating a part of that hunger with natural resources that you have, versus if you're a country that doesn't have a lot of natural resources, so you got to go out there and take it. In that context, then yeah, there are hungry and satiated nations. But when you pursue, but in the in a more, let's say, more general sense, if you're following the capitalist model, you're following an insatiable model, right? Always more. Line go up, line go up, line go up. Juju gata jeung dae, as the Koreans say, okay? So if you always gotta
Wonderful.
make
a new
sure
child
that
soldier, I mean
line
subscriber.
go up, juju gata jeung dae, you eventually step out of your borders and you start stealing shit. Thank you, Slow Zero, for the 5 months with Prime. Reminder to all the Prime legends in chat
Wonderful. A
to
new
use their
child
Prime
soldier,
on me,
I mean subscriber.
because I have a fancy camera now, and I am better than everyone, okay? Somebody with a fancy camera like this, okay, they deserve 2 phones, okay? And they deserve like 17 million subscribers, okay? You have this sort of camera, you have to have at least 4,000 subscriptions. With this camera, okay, I'm no longer a 2,000 sub Andy. With this camera, I'm sorry. This camera, at least 4,000, at least 5,000. Okay, I will be satisfied with 6,000. Okay, if you insist, 7,000. Jesus Christ, you guys are so aggressive. Thank you, Zivexal, for the 15 months. Very nice to see you, my friend. Very nice to see you.
Officials expressing.
I don't actually have 2 phones. This is my old phone. This is just my old phone that I still use for my online banking because I am incredibly paranoid. I just have this phone that only has my banking app. Like, it has nothing else. And I keep it in a safe. Like, I actually do. You cannot access my online banking any other way. I am and it doesn't have a SIM card either. And if I go outside of the city for a while, I disconnect it from the Wi-Fi, so nobody can really connect to the Wi-Fi and then transfer from here. 1 phone for drug dealing, 1 phone for the huzz. The old days are gone.
Very stark concerns about the president's threat here. I would just remind you that a couple of days ago, Vice President J.D. Vance, along with Secretary Marco Rubio, met with top officials from Greenland, from Denmark. And one of those officials, the Danish foreign minister, said in a statement that this comes
Đoklo
as a
začepio ću ti jebe mater. Znači, pusti me da se kurčim ovde. Pusti čoveka se kurči. To su ti bre Balkanci, bre. Hoćeš komši da umre krava. Hoćeš ljudi da ne misle da pičku materinu, koja si ti govno.
surprise. He said that they had productive
Volim te, majke mi.
discussions. We also heard from French President Emmanuel Macron. He said, quote, tariff threats are unacceptable and have no place in this context. He warned that Europeans will respond in a coordinated manner. We heard from the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who says that this tariff strategy is, quote, completely wrong. We also heard from European Commissioner Ursula von der Leyen, who says that tariff...
But I was hope-billing you with my conversation about what sort of rhetoric the Europeans can use when it comes to, the Europe first, sovereign Europe, neutral Europe kind of pitch. That's the hope bill. That's if you want to win, that's what you do. But what usually happens with the periphery of empire is empire starts to decline. At least what has happened throughout history and what, theory, or both, even realist political theory implies, but also Marxian, specifically, Lenin's analysis of empire, is the periphery eventually starts fighting amongst each other for the scraps that are left over. So, you have the big pirate ship and you have a bunch of small other pirate ships. That is empire. And it is flowing through an endless sea, and it is boarding other ships. They are all together boarding other ships, robbing some shit, sometimes taking the whole ship, etc., etc. They're flowing and flowing and flowing, and that works for decades, sometimes even centuries, and eventually you run out of other people's ships. So what usually happens is the big ship starts also not only giving less booty to the small ships, it also starts kidnapping and raiding its comrade ships, right? What do the comrade ships have as a viable option in that case? What's the viable option? It's either them uniting and leaving the big ship to fend for itself and creating their own destiny somewhere else. This is the good ending. The bad ending, the more likely ending, though, is the big ship. For example, the big ship has 10 friends, but understands it can only feed 6 friends. It goes to the 6 friends and it says, let's cannibalize the other 4. So most likely the long-term pitch here is exactly that. It is turning the Europeans one against the other, basically creating 2 tribes of those who want to remain in America's good graces, like Germany, and those who might take some of the first steps against this sort of unipolarity, like, for example, France, which then can potentially lead to the destruction of the entirety of the European Union, right? So there you go. That's the 2 paths. I can't believe I was in a very good mood because of the new camera today, so I only gave you the hope pill of how this can, create a unified, sovereign, independent, and neutral Europe. But most likely, no. They're just going to infight the living shit out of each other. I listened to Italy's, female Führer speech on what to do about the Americans, and she basically said nothing. She literally was like, I don't know what to do. This is fucking crazy. But there was a part where she was like, we have to look out for Italian interests first, even if they might not align with the Americans. But then she said a very weird thing, or with our fellow European countries. La la. Mm-hmm. She's implying maybe, being one of the last dogs of American empire can still fill your pet bowl.
Would undermine transatlantic relations and risk a dangerous downward spiral. Now, as you mentioned, European countries have deployed a military presence to Greenland. They say that is exactly because President Trump says that this Arctic island needs more security. They say they are doing what he is asking. And back here at home, as we are seeing those protests play out in Greenland and in Denmark.
I saw this video. I think it's lib the fuck out, but I think it's from the New York Times opinion. Like, I want to blow my brains out. And New York Times. Oh, I actually got Oh, and that's a wider and greater problem. Whenever America does something unhinged, they're like, "Oh, that's just the current administration." Trust me, bro. When the next administration comes, it's gonna be more normal, bro. Trust me.
Mr. Moore.
Hence,
the inability to analyze things in a historical, linear fashion has always been fascinating to me.
my phone call. But while I'm on hold, maybe we can talk America? To start, let's look at a map.
Ooh,
This
mapa.
is Greenland. Roughly 50,000 Greenlanders live there, and it's not green at all. It's white. It's all white. Maybe that's why that Stephen Miller guy loves it so much. This is Denmark, almost 2,000 miles away. 6 million Danes live here. We do minimalism, we do Lego, we do hygge, we do the fat shot. That's us. Now, Denmark and Greenland are not the same country, but we are in a relationship. We share a king, but we have individual governments. We are very different, but we make it work. To put it in American terms, we're like Trump.
I mean, it makes sense to come after Greenland as the United States of America because Denmark kind of called for a war against one of the quintessential American cultural staples, being fat. Fatphobic as fuck joke, but it was too good. I can't. It's Denmark. It's like Denmark basically bombed every single McDonald's in the United States by inventing Ozempic. What is being American? Loving oil, shooting schools, and being chubby, right? Well, Denmark was like, no. You cannot. You can continue shooting up schools. You can continue invading other countries, but you cannot be chubby.
And Melania were formally together, functionally separate, and both pretending it's very normal. America and Denmark actually go way back. We usually follow blindly whenever you guys feel like invading a country. We did it with the Gulf War, we did it with Afghanistan, we did it with Iraq. Coalition of the willing.
We will lead a coalition.
Okay, so self-irony. I love it. I love to see it. Rarely comes out of a European's mouth. It's nice.
Coalition of willing nations to disarm him.
We were the willing. But this
Because you're fucking idiots.
time, we can't help you. Because you're talking about invading a country that we already invaded. Look, we already know how colonialism ends. We've seen this film before.
India in revolt. Protesters smoked out by the police.
Here's why invading Greenland, the easy way or the hard
Yes, it is an NYT video. I want to die.
way,
This
would
is the torture section.
bad.
Torture segment of the stream.
Bad for America and for the world. I think I need some fresh air. Danish missionaries invaded Greenland in 1721, slowly taking over the country. And for 250 years, we did whatever we wanted to them, basically going full colonial on them. Even in the 20th century, we were inserting IUDs into Greenlandic women to limit the population. We were separating Greenlandic children from their families, sending them to Denmark. Horrible stuff. We even let America build military bases in Greenland. During the Cold War, you guys had 10,000 troops based there. You even crashed a B-52 carrying 4 nuclear bombs there in 1968. Remember?
The hunt is on to locate the missing nuclear weapons.
So, what did we Danes learn from the past couple of centuries? Well,
Imagine a fucking undetonated nuke drops on your fucking house. Are you keeping it or are you keeping it? I'm fucking keeping it. Are you fucking kidding me? Like I'm on my deathbed like 70 years later.
Wonderful.
Daughter,
A new child soldier.
come closer.
Subscriber.
Like my whole family is around me. Come closer. Will you do one final thing for me, daughter? Yes, of course, Grandpapa. Go to the shed. There is a big red button. Press it. Causes nuclear Armageddon. Everybody dies with me, which basically renders my death not death because also everybody else is dead. These are my fantasies. Thank you very much, Zans, for the 12 months. It is very nice to see you, Zans. Oh, you too, Yugo. Yes. Yes, you, me too. Me three. Me too movement.
Well, the obvious.
Valid take, right, Aiden?
No population.
We've hit 1 hour and 30 minutes. Reminder to subscribe to the show. Pay your taxes. We don't take sponsors. We don't do ads. 100% supported by chat itself. We now have this fancy camera because I actually invest the money that you spend on the show. 10% of what the show makes goes to the producers, etc., etc. Many valid reasons, okay? One valid reason, because you're a Westerner, you need to pay your taxes. Second valid reason, because you're from the developing world and you need to make the Westerners feel embarrassed because they're not paying as much taxes as you. Third valid reason, subscribe for yourself, because then you get the little emote next to you and you feel superior, and also I feel good and you feel good. Reason number 4, primes are free. Use them, okay? Reason number 5, I can buy nice stuff and the show will look good. Those are my 5 reasons. Apologies for the grift session, but we always have to do the grift/shill session. Oh, yeah, reason number 5 or 6 or whatever it was. Let's gamba, dude. Like, for real, dude. Let's please fucking just gamba, please. You can use emotes around the platform. No, I'm talking about the little picture of the little child soldier next to you. I'm working on new ones, by the way. I'm working on new ones. But yeah, subscribe so we can please, if you want, please let's punish the streamer.
Is going to be happy with a foreign government ruling over them. The Greenlanders hated us for centuries. Some still do. So Trump invading Greenland is not gonna help America's place on the global stage or at home. And I know he says he's the most popular president in the most popular country since the dawn of time.
I'm a very stable genius.
But trust me, he's not. And going old school colonial on Greenland is not gonna help. Anyway, back to the history lesson. In 1979, Greenland voted for greater autonomy from Denmark and to form its own government. And this is important because Trump keeps talking about buying Greenland.
The fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land.
Denmark doesn't own Greenland anymore.
An American white person saying that is... What are we even doing anymore? Like, what are we even doing anymore? This is what I saw earlier. Wait. I can't even open X/Twitter for you guys directly because maybe I'm like just a dick might appear. Look, what is even happening? What is happening?
Crazy hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
They don't understand the things I say on Twitter.
The only question I have is, how did the club play this? How the fuck did the club play this? Thank you, Sun Smash, for your 5, you fucking legend. And thank you, Open Presents. Did I just get a present from somebody called Open Presents? I want everybody in chat to say thank you to Open Presents, our second taxpayer of the day. Yo, look at me. Thank you. That was very nice of you. That was very, very nice of you. Thank you very much. You're very chill. Second taxpayer from the West for today. Thank you very much. Very kind. No joke. Very kind. Thank you. Somebody, by the way, Open Presents. I don't think Open Presents has a sub themselves. So please subscribe to Open Presents. Okay? I mean, not subscribe. Gift a subscription to Open Presents. Wait, is it Open Presents like a thing? Because Open Presents literally just followed 1 minute ago and immediately gave 25 subs. What the fuck? Are you a person or is this something? Open Presents is Hassan's biggest oiler? Are you fucking kidding me? Yo. What's up, man? How you doing? What's up, dude? But yes, this is what we have. Welcome to the 21st century. We have a black Nazi that made a song called N-word Heil Hitler being sang by a fucking Asian, Latino, black dude, and whatever category of gay this dude is, and in a club. And they're the right wing's online influencer squadron. 2026 starting off impressively. God is shit posting us, I guess. Solidarity. Thank you very much, my friend. So yeah, white supremacy is multicultural now. Later, we're going to check out, I know it's old news for some of you, Nick Shirley. I only recently found out who this is because I touched grass. But apparently he's like just lobotomized. Apparently he's just literally lobotomized. So I really want to check him out. By the way, open presents if you're a very known Oiler. Thank you, Barry. Thank you very much. Here, we can gamble them. So, keep an eye out for the community because this is the only place on Twitch where I made it legal for us to actually gamble with gift subs. You can potentially bankrupt me because it's funny. Or you can potentially double all your subs. So I'll make your investment worth it, if you know what I mean. I'm already regretting what I'm saying. Open presents would ruin you, lol.
Greenland owns Greenland.
Yugo, please don't play with open presents. Well, shit. Now what did I do now? Fuck. Shit, fuck.
Us Danes even asked the Greenlanders how they'd feel about being bought.
300,000 kroner.
No, he could never buy us. Ever in my life, I would...
500,000?
No.
You see? We know the Greenlanders. They're a proud indigenous people who are not interested in being Americans. You can't just buy them off. So, Trump is running wild. He's kidnapping presidents, he's invading other countries without congressional approval, and frankly, we don't want that mess spilling into Greenland. Or Europe. Or Legoland, for that matter. So again, that's why we're trying to speak to the manager. But Congress still isn't picking up the phone.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Oh, my God. Makes a decent video and then misses the whole point. It doesn't matter. I mean, of course it matters, but who is currently at the executive seat of empire, in this case, of the United States of America, is who is in the driving seat, is in the driving seat because America is the way it is, not vice versa, okay? The car is on motherfucking autopilot.
Hello?
Peter Thiel, yeah.
The Americans are determined to
The New York Times make me want to blow my brains out. Anyways, apparently ICE will hire just about anybody, which is kind
Meanwhile,
of the
we
case.
have another reason to be
kind of the point.
concerned about who exactly ICE is hiring to join its ranks. Now we have this story this week in Slate. A journalist decided to test the ICE recruitment process by actually applying for a job. Laura Jadid said she gave her resume to ICE at a career expo in Texas last August, did a brief interview, and then days later received a tentative offer to join the agency. DHS called Jadid's story a, quote, lazy lie, adding this individual was never offered a job at ICE. Laura Jadid joins us now. She's the author of Firewalled Media on Substack. So, Laura, we want you to settle this once and for all, and I believe we have something we can flash on screen, too. Were you given a job offer?
Dude, this lady basically went to a ICE convention and she was like, yo, hire me. And they did background checks on her. No, they didn't. She's like a very avid, like anti-ICE person, like journalist that constantly shit talks ICE. And they hired her, which means they don't do background checks, which is intentional and systemic. Because if they did background checks on 70% of current ICE members, they would either find that they are Nazis or some sort of criminal or wife beater. You don't do background checks on your brown shirts, okay? You want your brown shirts to be as unhinged as possible. You want them to be as bloodthirsty as possible. You want them to have as many unresolved psychological issues as possible. You're creating an ideological army here. You need the downtrodden and angry.
From ICE.
Well, the portal said that
exactly.
I had a final offer, and they gave me an entry on duty date of September 30th. Now, if that means something else, it would be nice if they could elaborate. I did ask them for comment. They did not respond. And after I posted this video on, I guess, X now, no response from that either. So until I hear back, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that it means what it says it means.
When you've had a security clearance before, you've served in Afghanistan, you've been in the military, you know the process. What went wrong here?
It's absolutely nuts. I mean, this is one of those things I feel like it should be obvious on the surface, but people who've been through the process know how weird this is. To not have filled out any paperwork to get the background check started, something I didn't mention in the original article, but which is true. Jadid's an Arabic name. My father immigrated.
So she is ICE. She was ICE before. Yeah, just abroad. Oh, okay. Sorry. So this is like former ICE snitching on current ICE. Love to see it. I find it extremely funny when it's everywhere. Like it's some of the most liked. It is some of the most liked videos on TikTok when it comes to the ICE raids. It's like a guy that's like, "Oh, I served in Afghanistan. I served in Iraq, and now this year be looking a lot like Iraq." And I'm like, something about chickens and roosting and coming home, bro. Dude, do you understand that you were ICE for the Afghanis and the Iraqis, and now you're complaining that you're getting iced? Fucking genius over here, dude. Only in America, man. Only in America. Hey, look at this very, very American thing happening. What are we, a bunch of Asians? Oh. I mean, it's. I understand when an American civilian does it, okay? Like, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's like to be expected. Like, oh, what are we, a bunch of Asians? This is not supposed to be happening in a democracy. But when somebody that, like, went to be Empire's foot soldier abroad goes like, what the fuck, man? I went over there to kill them goddamn motherfucking subhumans. And now they're shooting people on my streets? What the fuck is wrong with you? I have nothing against shooting and arresting people and putting them in vans and torturing them. But only when they're subhumans. These are Americans, goddammit. They are not subhumans. You cannot do this here. Ay, ay, ay. It's wild. It's wild. Like ex-foot soldiers like this. Okay, maybe she's based. Maybe she's like, fuck the foot soldiers. I protest the army, but I low-key doubt it because of how they introduce her. When they introduce a motherfucker with "of you've served," you know that motherfucker proud of that shit. You know that motherfucker proud of that shit.
From Syria, I'm a second generation.
She's pretty cool on that stuff. Okay, there you go. I shouldn't judge. Bravo, bravo.
Immigrant. And when I got my security clearance,
I don't know. I'm being open-minded.
Military, that held it up by several months. And so the idea that the narrative that, oh, they must have done the clearance, they just don't care that you have, lefty views. Well, they should have cared about that, though. So it's all very odd.
So I'm curious, would you have made a good ICE agent?
Well, I don't really like brutalizing civilians and children. So I don't know if I'm cut out for it, just psychologically,
I need to know what that interview was like. So you went to this job fair and had a 6-minute conversation?
Yep, I timed it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
Like, if you join ICE, no joke, you're rich. No joke. You get the $85,000 bonus After how many years? Like you want me to explain a direct pathway to happiness for an American white chud. I'm talking white chud. There's brown chuds, don't get me wrong. There's black chuds. There's plenty of minorities in ICE. Hell, one could even say that there's 30-40%, which is so fucking absurd. And those people are unironically worse than the white supremacists in ICE, because the whites at least are working towards a system that is going to protect them and theirs. So there is something in it for them. They are nonetheless still evil pieces of shit, but there's something in it for them. While, brown people arresting other brown people in the name of upholding American white supremacy makes you the lowest of the low. It makes you worse than a Nazi. It makes you a Nazi that hates himself. Okay, but that to the side. If we want to talk about the ultimate pipe dream right now, if you're an American, you're a white chud. You join ICE, you serve for 5 years, you save up a lot, and then you go to Thailand, and you buy a property there, and you become a race trader. There you go, literally. That's what you do. You do the racist with an Asian wifey thing, and you're good. That's it. I hope no chuds are actually listening to this. I'm sure there's like at least 1,000 guys in ICE right now whose entire plan is that. The entire plan. I'm going to protect America so I can leave America. Some of the best U.S. activists are veterans accepting contrition. 100%. And I fucking love those people. I could not agree more. I love those people. And here in the community, we have quite a few people who are veterans of American empire and even some other countries that have proudly shifted sides, and I have massive respect for them. I unironically salute them. So that was not the intention. But I'm talking about veterans that are very proud of their service, sitting out here, motherfucker, be like, why the fuck is it like Afghanistan? Like, what? These people are so fucked up. And, sir, why are they fucked up? Because of the brutalizing? No, of course not because of the brutalizing. I went abroad and I brutalized. No, what's fucked up is that they're brutalizing Americans.
The questions were so incredibly basic. I mean, things I could have just filled out in a form, name, how old I am.
They asked that in an interview?
Yeah, well, they asked both my date of birth and how old I am, just to,
Math
I guess.
is not their thing.
What can I say?
You wrote that they were the interviewer was pretty disinterested in the information you were giving during that interview.
Yeah, I mean, I volunteered because, I did a skills-based resume. There's a pretty big gap on there because I didn't tell them about the journalism. I just kind of left that off. And I had my kind of rehearsed explanation for those years. That's true. I gave it, I had a bit of a quarter-life crisis. I worked at a bar for a while, went to
Quarter-life crisis. I swear to God, millennials are insane.
College, did some gig work. I'm a freelance journalist. It's gig work. And you would not believe how much he didn't care. No interest whatsoever.
So what were the red flags that you think they missed about you besides the obvious?
I really feel like, okay, so I feel like my resume was good enough to pass the sniff test. I'm not surprised that, that they passed me on to the next level. It's just that if they had put my name into any computer at all, they would have immediately realized that I'm just
They
not
saw a veteran and they immediately wanted to hire her. That's how it went, probably.
what they're looking for. I've been very outspoken for
Also, they intentionally do not analyze your profile because they don't want to find out that you love Hitler. That's the main reason they don't.
years about the Trump regime, about ICE specifically. It boggles the mind. I was worried they were going to figure out who I was while I was there if they just were going to run my application.
I was going to say they're probably worried about pro-Palestine posts that you may have made, which clearly it's not something that got flagged or anything that was said that made them say, hey, this is a person that we want to.
Yeah, and I've been so vocal.
Did you just sense a desperation for warm bodies to fill these roles? How many people were at this event that you went to?
Yeah.
No, I don't think the analysis is correct. It's not just about them wanting to inflate numbers. Sure, they do want to inflate numbers, but the main reason they are not looking into your profile is because they want unstable, exceptionally bigoted pieces of shit that sometimes, actually probably very often, go online and spew that hatred through semi-anonymous accounts. You don't want to find that because you do want Adolf was based 1488 horsecock from x.com to join ICE.
So they'll tell you all day about how many people are eager to join ICE, and maybe that's true. But at this specific event, they entered out the Arlington Esports Arena, which can seat thousands. And I don't think there were more than like 150 people there for the 3 hours I was there. No lines to get into security, no lines to get into the venue. 6 people ahead of me to interview.
We watched like 5-6 months ago. Like we watched an ICE event. It was ultra packed. So this is kind of incorrect, or maybe this, or maybe the event we looked at was more packed than the average event, or maybe she has confirmation bias, maybe I have confirmation bias, but I think the case is that like ICE has been pretty inflated already, right? Like the hiring has been done before. Now most people that wanted to join ICE have already probably applied to ICE. Like the curve on the graph of potential new hirings is steeply downward sloping right now, not only because of the incredibly negative perception that that ICE is getting, but also because you run out of people at some point. Like when you start selling a product, the sales are huge in the first day, then there's less on the second day, and then there's less on the third day, then there's less on the fourth day.
It really, there wasn't a big crowd. Even with the 50K bonus, people just aren't there for it.
So I guess what has this taught you about who ICE is hiring?
50K bonus is crazy. 50K bonus is insane, dude. That's a straight up down payment for a great apartment where I live. Straight up down payment for like 130 square meter apartment here. All you gotta do is black van a bunch of people that have accents that you find strange, or if you're brown, a couple of your cousins.
What it's taught me is we don't know. Like they don't even know. I mean, they're wearing masks, they've got guns, they're in our cities.
If you stay for 5 years, but they only make 40K a year. It's not a signing bonus. Okay. No, that sucks. That's not big money then. The bonus is a trap. They get paid like 10K up front and the rest over 5 years. If they quit or get fired, they have to pay it back. Oh, my God. Oh, Lord. That is so funny. Being baited into personal poverty because you wanted to be a brown shirt is the funniest capitalism moment I've ever heard. You were literally racism your way into poverty. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard. It sounds like an op. It sounds like a leftist op to eliminate, to remove wealth from the hands of open white supremacists or traitors to their people. Basically, the only reason you would ever join is because you're a bigot. Yeah, right? Like cops, I assume they make insane overtime, however. That's probably where most of their income comes from. I would really love to read an article on this. I do not... there you go. Rarely happens if it's something I don't know enough. I wish it usually worked that way. Me too, bruv. Okay, let's continue. Damn, this camera good.
They're brutalizing men, women, and children. They're now...
On the fascist side, though, they got these guys financially as slaves to do what they want. If fascism fails, they're double fucked. The 100.
They're murdering people, and not only do we not know who they are, I don't think they know who they are. This thing where they insisted they didn't offer a job, how would they know?
Well, and also I want to point out that you are not a one-off in the sense that a report from NBC found that, quote, an artificial intelligence error in how their applications were processed sent many new recruits into field offices without proper training, according to 2 law enforcement officials familiar with the error, referring to ICE. So basically, an AI tool scanned the word officer in resumes, clearing candidates where that was found for lesser training protocols. Does this surprise you at all, given what you personally experienced?
That sounds exactly on brand. In fact, one of the speculations, and I think this one makes the most sense to me, is that I experienced an AI glitch of some kind. Because how else could this possibly have happened? This is what happens when you implement these systems too quickly. Things fall through the cracks.
So now they...
Yeah, we need to make sure our hiring process for ICE is more efficient. I'm not saying that this lady is saying that, but like low-key, the MS Now lady's like, what? Why are we not getting the best that America can offer? In ICE, I want a person with a PhD brutalizing me on the street. For the small price of getting directly involved in foreign intervention, you can get an $80,000 signing bonus. You want to do it domestically? It might be $40,000, but you can beat the living shit out of that dirty ass slur neighbor of yours. Bratan, bratushka.
There's still many outstanding questions about what happened in the critical moments leading up to the killing of Renee Good during a confrontation with ICE officers last week. As additional videos of the shootings continue to surface, the New York Times is out with a very detailed new analysis, syncing up multiple videos from different angles, going frame by frame, and creating really the fullest...
Jesus Christ, who gives a fuck? You don't get to shoot someone who is even driving a car directly at you. Welcome to living in a civilized, normal country, you daft pricks. The whole reason we hire people in positions where they can carry firearms is because we believe that they have the mental capacity, patience, and fortitude to act in a way that a regular civilian would not be able to act in, a.k.a. not immediately resolved to murdering. Maybe that should be
a new child soldier.
a 1 in a million cases where you murder the guy that's doing anything. Maybe we like to joke here, I like to say welcome to Yugopnik loves pigs moment, but not American pigs, but all other pigs, which of course is very self-ironic. But compare American cops to any other cops. Go hardcore. Like there's countries that are hardcore, like Russian cops, right? Or compare them to mellow as fuck, like certain countries' European cops. American cops make everybody else look like angels, look like true servants of the people. And these guys aren't even police officers. This is ICE, but let's imagine they're police officers. Even EU pigs, yes, dude. Are you kidding me? Dude, what? If you're far left enough, you get your cops back. Absolutely, the People's Police is based.
Video image picture of what transpired. Here's a portion of their analysis centering around the position of the officer in relation to Ms. Good's vehicle. This is from the New York Times.
The cell phone is focused.
Pork is pork internationally. I agree, my dear friend. But you have a wild boar and then you have a piggies, right? It's still a pig, but it's not a wild boar. You know what I'm saying? Jesus, gosh dang hacker. Gosh dang hacker. Gosh dang hacker. Thank you very much for the 5 gifts, baby. Ooh. We're getting close to Gamba. Come on. So close to Gamba. So close to spinning that wheel and potentially bankrupting me. And as always, a reminder, if you gift subs and we enter into Gamba, you can also Gamba those subs. So if somebody that was crazy gifted 63 subs right now, we would be able to Gamba those 63 subs. Just saying. Just saying.
Focus squarely on Miss Good. She looks down, shifts into drive, and begins turning to the right.
Why are we left to do the analysis when the courts must do it? There is no need to analyze what took place. It was clearly premeditated murder. Yes, I would let the courts do their court stuff. Cops in Saudi Arabia or Israel are probably better than the U.S. I do not want to compare that. I do not want to compare that. But maybe maybe not Israel. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not Israel. I mean, the American pigs. A lot of them were trained by the IDF. So right. Thank you very much, you Chuck Sunset, you beautiful tax-paying motherfucker. I knew that there's some fucking good Western whites in chat. White chatters subscriptions matter, okay? Thank you very much for the sub. We have 3 Western taxpayers on this fine day. Thank you very much. Fucking legend. Thank you. Got to pay that tax, brother. Yeah, brother. Thank you. Everybody say thank you to Chuck. That might be my top 10 American names. Chuck is just great. I would love to have a bro called Chuck. Yo, Chuck, how you doing, bro? Yeah, I'm just opening a cold one, bro. You want to join me? You got some cigs, dude? No, I don't want those goddamn menthols, bro. Come on, why not, Chuck? Man, those menthols. Like, nah, man. I'm not manly enough for somebody called Chuck.
Wonderful, a new child soldier.
Aiden isn't lame. Aiden's a pretty name as well.
Shifts into drive and begins turning to the right.
Chuck is very
away
fancy,
from
right?
Jen. Cut to this high angle and zoom in. We can make out the agent's body and his arm filming. We can also see at the same time he's beginning to lift his other arm. On these cameras, we can see what's happening around Agent Ross. The other agent is yelling.
You are a sick, degenerate society if you believe that a police officer should be able to shoot someone driving a car directly at them. No, I am saying it. Yes, no, you don't get to shoot him. You do not get to shoot someone holding a knife 20 meters away from you. No, you don't. That's the point of being a cop. And understand that that's not even a cop. It's a fucking brown shirt, blah, blah, blah. But you get my point. That is why you're given that job. That is a job that I cannot do. If I'm holding that fucking thing right there, I'm fucking shooting you over the fucking hill if I see you with a knife. But that's why I'm not a cop. That's the point. That's why nobody wants to give me a badge, and they shouldn't. And they should only give it, potentially, in a better world when we have the people's police, the proletarian polizei, the militia, right? Only to people that can, that are built for that, quote unquote. Literally. Thank you, Adrian. What is up, Adrian? Thank you for the taxes, baby. Is Adrian waiting for the gamba? What's up, Adrian?
Wonderful, a new child soldier. Subscriber. Wonderful, a new child soldier. Subscriber.
We are a sex society. No, you're a content society, which is why we have to do investigations like this, because a third of the fucking country thinks this is awesome. Yeah.
Wonderful, a new child soldier. Subscriber.
And also another third of the country really enjoys like just analyzing dead people and why they died.
Orders and
having hot takes on whether they agreed that the public execution of this person is based or if it's not based. That's but that's not just the States. That's everywhere. That's why we have true crime.
Reaching into Miss Good's SUV.
Crazy
Her front tire spins as she continues turning.
We like to watch snuff films on loop. That's what I keep saying, and people fucking misinterpret me. The gladiator fights never went away. The reason there's no 3 dudes with swords hacking each other to death on screen is because it's not that interesting. Nobody would watch it. There's like organic, recorded murders in the States happening every 3 days. It doesn't have to be scripted with slaves in a side of a sand pit fighting each other to the death. What? That's so like gay boxing matches, whatever. No, true entertainment is when it happens out in the wild. because it's always a different situation.
Wonderful.
Then
A
you
new
can have
child
favorites,
soldier.
and
I
you
mean,
can pick who your
subscriber.
favorite is. Oh, it's the ice agent. Oh, it's the lady. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's just gladiator fights. You're just getting treats in gladiator fights, okay?
Wonderful. A new child soldier.
It
I
never
mean,
went away,
subscriber.
dude. It never went away. Public executions are very much so still a thing. We just,
Wonderful.
you know,
A new
we
child
don't
soldier. I mean,
have
subscriber.
public opinions on someone which leads to them being executed. No, we're even less democratic than that. We execute people first, and then we have public
Wonderful. A new
conversations on
child
whether that
soldier.
was
I mean,
based or not.
subscriber.
Huh?
Agent Ross is at least a few feet away from Miss Good's SUV. He does not
once
appear to
again,
move
Adrian.
out of the way.
And I'm joined by one of the reporters who worked on that video analysis from the New York Times, Devin Lum. Devin, so...
Jeez, that's a fucking child. Hello, child. Is that his son or something? You just know that this man, like, dreads balding. Because his whole, like, thing is, I am guy with white hair. I am extremely bipartisan, and I have the white hair. I'm the white hair guy. Whoo. Young Keanu over here. We briefly interrupt our political analysis of recent events.
He does not appear to move out of the way.
And I'm joined by one of the reporters who worked on that.
Shit talk a child on television. He's got that. He's got that. What was his name? Kevin Kolinsky or Kudzinski or whatever fucking Polish thing it is. Little. Are they coming back? Are you telling me they're coming back? There's no way they're coming back. This was when I was 8. They were popular when I was 8. What do you call them? Jewelry that you put on your ear. Fucking thing. Jewelry that you put on your ear. One thing you will always know, that I am not lying to you about where I live and who I am. I am not an American. Earring, kurva, da, earring. Jebem vas u pičku, govna jebena. Minđuša, bre, pričaj, bre, srpsko-hrvatski, te ceo svet razume, bre, jebem vas u earring. Što? Earring, jebate. Mamka da vjeba. Kyle Kulinski. Yes, Kyle Kulinski. Yes, Kyle Kulinski. Thank you. So our boy earrings coming back. Mask earrings. Is that a thing? Is it a thing that is coming back? I don't know. I think I found my thing to be reactionary about. Cis straight dudes with earrings. I am This is my Rome, the one thing that I'm going to be an absolute piece of shit about with no fucking reason. It's cis straight dudes with earrings. I am forbidding my son from wearing earrings, and then he's like, "But Dad, I'm gay," and I start fucking freaking out, and he's like, "But oh my God, Dad, I didn't know you were homophobic." I'm like, "No, you should have told me earlier. I wouldn't have beat the living shit out of you every day whenever I saw you wearing an earring. You're gay. You can wear an earring. I thought you were straight in wearing an earring. That is disgusting." Stealing gay culture, right? Yugo's son walks in one day after school and he's wearing an earring. And I grab him by the throat and I pick him up and I say, "Son, are you fucking gay?" And he looks at me, says, "Yes, Dad. How did you know?" And I put him down. And he's like, "Oh, then it's okay, son. Jesus Christ. I thought you were straight and wearing an earring. I almost fucking broke your jaw, you piece of shit." You better be gay, son. Son, you better be gay. If you're straight and you're wearing that shit, I'm about to smack the living shit out of you. You stop your son from wearing earrings because you're homophobic. I stop him because he looks better than me. We're not the same. Jimmy the Giant actually did a video on that topic on earrings? Blять, koi kurac? What? What the fuck? You better be hiding your boyfriend in this room, son. You either have a boyfriend in this room, son, or you remove that goddamn earring right now, you piece of shit. Ay, ay, ay. Legendary. Oh. Not earring specific, but that men were able to look more feminine. No, of course, dude. Don't take everything I say seriously. Same way you should never take a straight guy with an earring seriously.
Video analysis from the New York Times, Devin Lum. Devin, so that video that we just saw, what is the significance to you in that?
Right. So what we're seeing in that video is the agent who eventually shoots Renee Good moving from his position near his own SUV in front of her vehicle as it's moving. So law enforcement agents are not instructed to do that. They're told the direct opposite because it places them in danger, like we see in this.
It also, I mean, what you're saying in the video is that she is turning the wheel almost like a three-point turn.
Mm-hmm.
She had backed up and now she's turning. Does it indicate in the video that she was? I mean, this is one of the questions. The president said that she ran over the officer. That's clearly didn't occur. Was she aiming for him? Was she trying to turn away?
Right. So we can see in the video there's a split second where the tires of her car are pointed towards the agent, but it's not because she's angling those tires at the agent. It's like you said, she's in the middle of completing a three-point turn. So she was reversing with the wheel turned all the way to the left to flip the front of the car to the right and was in the process of turning to the right. So if you play the video further, you can see those wheels are moving away from the agent.
There's also the question of, was the agent who killed Ms. Good, was he actually hit? That we've seen his cell phone camera video. There seems to be, a jostling at the camera, whether that's him, it smashing against the car, I'm not sure. Well, I want to show this other video that's part of your analysis.
This is also the moment many have said looks like Agent Ross getting run over. And it does when watched at full speed. But looking more closely, we can see
This is not me, by the way. This is them glitching.
We had some problem with that.
Full week of analysis of a video that we all understood the first time we saw it. Have you ever heard of the phrase bread and circuses, my friend?
Can we try to re-rack that and play that again? Because that's important.
Dude, this kid spent like 4 days doing analysis of a murder. He saw a murder like 10,000 times. And then that motherfucking producer in the background is just supposed to play that shit. And this is what happens. Glitches the fuck out.
We had some problem with that. Can we try to re-rack that and play that again? Because that's important.
This is also the moment many have said looks like Agent Ross getting run over. And it does when watched at full speed. But looking more closely, we can see in multiple angles that there's a visible gap between the vehicle and his legs, indicating his feet are positioned outside the SUV's path. The agent's left hand is still against the vehicle and gripping his phone. We see as he fires, it's recording the clouds and the trees overhead. It's not because the agent is knocked to the ground. The other angle shows he's still standing, continuing to maintain his grip on his phone and his gun, and we see a clear and growing gap between his body and the SUV as he fires a second shot.
And that there's 4 shots.
There's 3.
This is such a strange thing with this kid. Like, I don't know. This is looking nepo as fuck, dude.
3 shots.
Yeah,
okay.
That's correct.
So the second and the third shot, which I think we have a freeze frame maybe of or a re-racking of the second and the third shot. Mm-hmm. That's from a different angle than the first shot, and is it directly into the window?
So, we're not able to establish the direct path of each bullet that was shot, but what we can see in the video is by the time that he's firing his second and third shot, there's a clear and growing gap between where he's positioned and where Rene Good has been turning, right? So the first shot looks to be a little bit more directly, potentially through the windshield, but again, we can't establish that through the visuals at this moment. But at the moment of the first shot, he has his hand on the vehicle as it's turning and pushing this direction and is pivoting away, right? And you can really see that pivoting motion when he fires the second and third shot, and that gap continues to grow as she drives past, and it becomes more of a firing toward the side.
I want to play another piece of your analysis that shows. Well, let's play this next one.
It's at this point in the cell phone video where it first looks and sounds like the agent's getting knocked violently. On the other camera, we can see what's happening. Here is Agent Ross aiming his miss Good. And here is his outstretched arm leaning toward her vehicle, which is barely visible behind the Tahoe. His phone, which is gripped in his left hand, flips over when the agent's hand lands on the front of the vehicle. There's an audible thud when it hits. The camera rotates up towards the sky. Again, while it appears the agent's getting knocked over, we can see that's not the case from the other angle, which shows he's standing with his hand near the headlight, his torso and legs away from the vehicle.
Nah. Even if you're America-brained and you think you get to shoot someone because they're driving towards you, this still doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It 100% does not work. I don't know, what's the chud pitch? I don't think they even do a pitch. They're like, she fucked around, she found out.
So that knock in the agent's camera, which when you first hear it, it sounds like he's being hit. Yeah. That's actually the phone in his hand making impact with the car.
Yeah, it's really important to acknowledge that the video that came out last Friday from the perspective of the agent was not being recorded by a body camera. It was the cell phone that he was holding in his hand. Right. So when we see some ruffling, some darkness, some shaking, it's not that he's being knocked back. It's that his hand, which is holding the camera, is being moved around by himself as well as the motion of the car. So when we hear a thud and the camera is flipping upward, pretend you're filming, holding a camera like this, and something is coming towards you and you want to put your hand on that thing in front of you. The camera is going to flip up, right? And so when it makes contact with the car, which is turning and driving, it's going to push back in this direction. Yeah. So that's what we see when we see, his face and the shift from facing the car to upward. It's not him being knocked over. It's the motion of his
hand is on the vehicle
camera.
And it moves toward his chest as the car is moving, and his legs are
yes. So
back.
he's positioned back, kind of leaning forward like this, but his legs are out of the path of the vehicle. Yeah. And he's trained on Rene Good that entire time. If you watch the video, his shooting hand is remarkably stable throughout that entire portion. And, even after this contact with his hand, despite being on a slippery road and making contact with the vehicle, he's still on his feet. Right. He's sliding a little bit.
I do not understand how the streets aren't littered with both dead ICE agents and dead protesters. The fact that nobody has taken things into their own hands, and the fact that this hasn't spiraled into an even worse, it's always possible for things to get worse, chaos than what we currently see is low-key strange to me. It's the pacing is strange. You understand what I'm saying? Let's continue with lib-ass CNN News. I want to hear from my favorite libbed-up guy, dude.
Here's my take. For years now, Europe has been characterized.
I love basic Fareed over here. Because the idea of acknowledging that America is completely fucked is something liberals will never do. Trump is wanting crazy hamburger! Yeah. Crazy hamburger! Yes, he absolutely does. But that's the meme. That's the meme of the snowball effect of fascism. If you do something against the snowball rolling down, the hill towards your home, it will lead to your home being burned down. If you don't do anything, it will snowball and be so big, and your home will be destroyed. So no matter what is done at this current stage, one could say that it is too late. Okay? Glitch.
Wonderful. A new child soldier.
Glitching right now, baby. Glitching right now. Thank you for your Western tax payment. Thank you very much, baby. Everybody say thank you to our friend Glitch. Thank you for glitching the shit out of us, baby. What was it? 4. We have another Western taxpayer. Thank you very much, Glitch. It is thanks to people like you that I can have this camera. For those of you who are new in the community, I used to have like a shit camera. If you go back to, maybe not last stream I did from a hotel, but now I'm like, ooh, now I'm fancy. Now I'm a 4,000 subscriber Twitch streamer with this camera. Thank you very much to Ultimate Weapon for paying your developing world taxes as well. Thank you very much. All right, 100% gets worse before it gets better. It's going to get a lot. Yeah, it 100% does, unless something magical happens. I'm not going to lie to you. But moments like this of complete chaos are often moments with the greatest amount of potential for leftist organizing, for developing class consciousness, for teaching people that it's always going to be socialism or barbarism, because the contradictions of capitalism always eventually lead to its defensive mode, which is fascism. If you don't want fascism to be a thing that happens time and time and time and time again, you must abolish the current economic and social model. Otherwise, you eventually come to moments of instability that birth fascism, no matter how many times you rinse and repeat, you rinse and repeat, you rinse and repeat. To be anti-capitalist is to be anti-fascist. Do you understand what I'm saying? To simply be only anti-fascist is to cut off the head of the schizophrenic era of capitalism, and that is a very good thing to do. But if you want to cut it at the root, you got to cut it at capitalism. So to be a true anti-fascist is to be an anti-capitalist. Because if you are not an anti-capitalist, but you are an anti-fascist, the only thing you're saying is, let's cauterize the current wound on a diseased body, but keep doing the thing that eventually leads to the body getting diseased.
Subscriber.
Right? You're if you are anti-fascist, this is the Yugopnik doctrine, okay? If you are anti-fascist but not anti-capitalist, you are somebody who is anti-lung tumors, anti-lung cancer, but pro-cigarette. Okay? Make it make sense. Oh, wait, you can't. Okay? You're pro-cigarette, but anti-lung cancer if you're an anti-fascist, but not an anti-capitalist. Thank you, Gustus. Many glorious returns to you as well, baby. Thank you very much. Thank you very, 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 very much. It's like getting a tooth filled without drilling out the rot. Beautifully put, my friend. Beautifully put. I'm anti-fascist, but I like iPhone. You will have all the iPhones. You will have the best iPhone. You will not have to buy a new one every year. Okay? Socialism is when one iPhone upgradable, like PC. That is communism. I still get pissed off that we no longer have Vuvuzela, bro. I mean, maybe we'll still have Vuvuzela, depending on the direction the current government takes, but we had one Vuvuzela iPhone 100 Gorillion. Now it's just iPhone 100 Gorillion.
As too divided to act, too lethargic.
iPhone, no more like we phone. Okay, no, sorry. That was really bad. I'm very sorry. Jesus, that hurt. Oh my God! You know when it like you feel like you're gonna have a heart attack. It literally hurt me in my heart when I said that. You pičku materinu. We are one sub away from Gamba. You know what happens when we Gamba. You're very welcome to Gamba because all streamers such as myself deserve to be punished. You must take money away from me, and you must give it to the unwashed, unsubscribed masses. Do you understand? You know what to do.
Decide too comfortable to think strategically. Yet over the past year, Europe has behaved with a quiet shrewdness that contradicts that stereotype. Faced with an unpredictable United States, it has neither lashed out nor capitulated. Instead, it has adapted.
Thank you, Grilltacular.
When President Trump returned to office and unleashed the country's highest tariffs in nearly a century, many expected Europe to retaliate. A transatlantic
Crazy hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
Jesus, stop shouting. Oh my God, bro. Okay, let's take a break from our lukewarm take for Reed to do some Gamba. Gamba has begun. For those of you who are new here, ask fellow chatters what that means. What that means is that we are the only place on Twitch where we found a loophole that can basically make gambling legal. And we basically do roulettes. But it's ethical, it supports the show, and it's very fun. And it's funny, and nobody gets hurt except the streamer's financial stability, which is very funny. So thank you, Gusus. Thank you, Crowtacular, for the gifting. Thank you, Commie Pink Hawks, for 2 months. Hi, friends, I'm sick. So here's some money. Thank you very much. Chief Supreme, what's up, baby? The 15 months. Thank you very much. But now I have Adrian is online. So how does this work? Adrian is online. Anybody that gifts over 5 subs can Gamba or not Gamba. If you Gamba, by the way, you cannot Gamba. Please don't. That's on you. I cannot check. But if your subscriptions cost under $4, please don't do that. Then you're actually going to financially ruin me. Double or nothing if it lands on 7. So I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to do it because I love Adrian, okay? Usually, the other guy says even or odd. We spin. If it lands on 0, you lose automatically. If it lands on what you said, you win. What does winning mean? I spend my own money and I buy the exact same number of subs that you've gifted. But you can come to me with crazy suggestions. Crazy suggestions. Like this one, where Adrian says double or nothing if it hits 7. I'm willing to take that bet. Would you take that bet, chat? I think that's a good bet. Let's take that bet. Let's take that bet. Adrian, if it hits 7, I have to buy 20 gift subs, and I will hate you forever. But you're not that lucky. And we spin. That's a good bet, right? Well, thank Jesus. That would have been awkward as shit. Thank you for trying, Adrian. But unfortunately, you have not doubled your subscription. Steez, thank you for the gifty. Thank you very, 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 very much. There you go. This is how it works. If you want to participate for the rest of the stream, you drop more than 5 subs or 5 subs, and you tell me Gamba, and then we Gamba. You can still gift subs without gambling if it's against your belief system, even though I am only ironically calling this gambling. This is not gambling. This is a nice subscription game that we've invented. But we like calling it gambling because it sounds edgier, and we're like all edgy and stuff. And we're like, ooh, oh, it's gambling on Twitch. It's so funny. We're like kick, but actually based. Oh, it's like a thing. It's a whole vibe. You wouldn't get it.
Fed inflation, disrupted supply chains, and weakened already fragile growth. Europe resisted the temptation. It absorbed the pressure, avoided escalation, and bought time. That restraint prevented a downward global spiral. Then, last week, Europe acted. After 25 years of stalled negotiations,
Thank you very kindly.
EU countries approved a sweeping trade agreement with Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay. EU.
This is my president, Chad. I'm so cooked. What has Argentina given us? It has given us Bed Empanada and Javier Milei, the two opposites of the political spectrum in all of its most radical forms. 1 minute left of the hype train. You can gamba and save the hype train. It's a win-win.
Countries approved a sweeping
And Messi,
trade
Messi. Yes.
agreement with Brazil, Argentina,
Thank you, Mary
Paraguay, and
Jane.
Uruguay.
Thank you very much.
If ratified, it will create one of the world's largest free trade zones by population, more than 700 million people.
Jesus,
Nor is the
that is not analysis. Oh my God. This is like a freshman in political science.
Wonderful.
It's a very large number of people that they can potentially do trade with. They've already done it. This is just ratification of additional contracts. A much bigger news is Canada literally going to China and saying this is the beginning of a new world order. We are going to redefine our relationship to you. Also, you can now start selling Chinese cars in Canada. Can you please let us have some jobs where we can also build Chinese cars in Canada? How the turns have tabled on the Pope who is shitting on the bear in the woods, okay? The North American continent was built on outsourcing cheap labor to China and other Asian countries. And now they are politely asking China to outsource back into Canada and North America in general. If I didn't believe in God, I would start believing in him now. And I would think that God is very motherfucking Chinese. I'm just saying that it's, come on, it's pretty poetic. It's pretty poetic. Mary Jane, you fucking legend. Thank you for the $5 as always for the taxes. And thank you very much, Pulitzer. Do you guys for the 5 as well? Mary Jane and Pulitzer, do you want a gamba? Mary Jane wants the gamba on odd. Mary Jane spins on odd with 5 gift subs. Will Mary Jane double or will Mary Jane not double? Let us see. Let us see. A son of a bitch. Can already see you will double. Oh, motherfucker. Mary Jane wins. Unfortunately, I'm a piece of fucking shit. No, but did they say that? Unfortunately, I'm a piece of fucking shit. Oh, wait, just said it again. I'm sorry. I don't think you're a piece of shit. Here we go. You have won 5 additional gift subs, and the streamer has lost money, which is always funny. Now we go to Pulitzer. Pulitzer, will you win a Pulitzer in gambling? Do you want to spin that wheel or do you not want to spin that wheel? Both options are perfectly legitimate, but one is arguably more evil and more degenerate than the other. You will have 15 seconds to say gamba or no. Der Pulitzer says no gamba because Der Pulitzer is a sweetheart, and I love Der Pulitzer. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Also, thank you to Monique. Oh, what's up, Monique? Nice to see you. And Axel. And Axel, thank you. Thank you both for your many, 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 many months of subscribera. Okay. Thank you, Jacqueline, for the gifty. Let's continue.
Outreach to Latin America, an isolated move. In recent weeks, Brussels and Beijing have signaled that they've resolved a fresh set of trade frictions that had threatened to turn into a broader confrontation over EV subsidies and market access. Europe remains wary of China's industrial policies and its political system, but the EU now views China as a necessary partner. At the same
It's wary of it.
time, Europe has accelerated its...
There are brown shirts on the streets of the United States of America. During the entirety of the Hong Kong protests in China, how many people died?
Wonderful. A new child soldier. Subscriber.
Outreach to Southeast Asia.
Thank you, Jokula.
The EU now has trade agreements in force with Singapore, and Vietnam has concluded...
Jokula gifted
a new child soldier.
a sub to Hasanabi. That's fucking hilarious.
Negotiations with Indonesia and is pushing ahead with talks across the region. The region, by the way, is already the EU's third largest trading partner outside Europe. This instinct to diversify is spreading far beyond Europe. Consider Canada. For 3 decades, Ottawa made a clear strategic bet that its future lay in ever deeper integration with the United States, economically, diplomatically, politically. More than 75% of Canadian goods exports flowed south in 2024. It was one of the most successful integration stories of the post-Cold War era. That trust has now been shattered. Trump's tariffs, threats to reopen trade agreements, and bizarre declarations about annexing Canada have forced a rethink. Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has responded by openly seeking distance from Washington. Arriving in Beijing this week, Canada's Foreign Minister, Anita Anand, put it bluntly. It is necessary for us to diversify.
I think this is old, even though it's been published 3 hours ago, dude.
Our trading partners and to grow non-U.S. trade by at least 50% over the next 10 years. That is not...
Do we support China in here, chat? You're new. Welcome in, you guy. Do we support... Do we support...
It is a strategic reversal. China's trade data reveal that the world is not de-risking from Beijing, but from Washington.
A new child
Despite
soldier,
sharply reduced exports to the U.S.,
Thank you, Alexa
China's
Felia,
overall
for the 9
exports
months.
continue to rise. Its trade surplus surged to nearly $1.2 trillion in 2025 as shipments to Latin America, Africa, Europe, and much of Asia
Canada Dangism arc does the great cultural leap. Canada does a cultural revolution. All degenerate American petit bourgeois aspirations must be cleansed from this land so that we can come closer to our Chinese brothers and eventually unify. The leaf and the dragon shall become one, and we shall rise above the dirty, decrepit, and diseased eagle.
expanded rapidly.
All Canada's cultural revolution, all McDonald's will be detonated in the next 24 hours. We are advising all comrades of the Canadian Cultural Liberation Movement to vacate all McDonald's premises. All those places will be replaced by doner places and taco places, okay, and Chinese fast food places. Do you understand me? There will be no food. Anyone harboring Burger King employees will be punished with public humiliation. They will be put on public display where other comrades can come and criticize them about being class traitors who worked towards the development of degenerate Western petit bourgeois cultural aspirations. Cyberpunkusi, you fucking legend. Do you want a gamba? Cyberpunkusi. That's such a good name, dude. Thank you for the 5, though. Thank you very much for the 5. Do you want to try odd? You want a gamba. Okay. Cyberpunkusi puts 5 on the table and spins. Odd or even, odd or even, odd or even. Ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, get ready. Cyberpunkusi. Oh my God, no. Jesus, that's so close. Cyberpunkusi, unfortunately loses. Thank you, Cyberpunkusi. You were very close. This was absurdly close here, so I'm not cheating. You can see. You can see, right? Right here. Right here. Unfortunately, that was what happened. Thank you for playing, though. I mean, I've been kind of winning. Maybe you guys can prove that I am, I suck, Prove that I suck. Gamba. Make that wheel spin. Like, punish me. I don't know. Do a 30 gift sub spin.
Wonderful. A new
do something
child
crazy.
Soldier. Subscriber.
Thank you, Irate Lump. Thank you for the 15 months. Nice to see you.
Tariffs did not wall China off from the world. They encouraged many countries to keep trading with Beijing. Public opinion reflects the shift. A major new poll...
1K Andy. Every Sunday I'm a 1K Andy, eh? Haven't you noticed, Kabashi, man? Now we only need to be a 1K Andy on the 3 other days, okay? Sunday, we're 1K Andy. Now we need to be... They stream 4 times a week. Now we need to be a 1K Andy the other 3 times, and then I'll start streaming 5 times a week. And my future wife will refuse to marry me.
The European Council on Foreign Relations finds that in key emerging powers, India, Brazil, South Africa, the share of respondents who would prefer their country join an American-led bloc rather than a Chinese one dropped by between 15 and 19 percentage points in just 2 years. Among 10 European countries, only 16% now describe America as an ally. A majority still consider the U.S. a key partner, even as views of China remain mixed rather than warm. As Singapore's...
You know what's happening in the UK right now? Literally, what was it? London Embassy. Look at what's happening in the UK. This is so funny. Like, the British don't have any other problems. They don't have any other problems. Where is it?
Crazy hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
Jesus, why is this so... There's nothing. Look at this.
MAGA embassy!
Why is there no coverage?
In the heart of...
Look at what the Brits are doing. Look at what the Brits are doing.
In the heart of central London, beside World Heritage sites...
Yo. Fourth girl, fifth taxpayer of the day. Thank you very much, Fourth. It is a pleasure to have you here, my beautiful taxpayer. Now tell me, do you want to potentially financially ruin me by gambling, or do you not? But yes, in Britain, they're protesting a Chinese embassy. Yes, you heard that right. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. This is your first 20. Thank you. Welcome to the community, Fulf. Have fun with my 20 gifts. You don't wanna gamba them? You're so based. You're so based. Thank you, Fulf. Very kind of you. Thank you very much, Fulf. No, people like Fulf are based. That's great. Thank you, Anon, for the 5 as well. Who I can't gamba because, I have to trust you that that's you. But yeah, look at what the Brits are doing. I'm going to leave this without commentary because the Brits still thinking they are relevant is hilarious. But the Chinese are kind of showing them as relevant by trying to build the biggest embassy in Europe in London. Why are you building the biggest embassy in Europe in London? Unironically do it in Serbia or Hungary or something. More neutral countries. Literally as a flex. Do it in Warsaw, dude. Why are you doing it in London? You're giving them further... you're giving in to the English sense of self-importance, which they low-key don't have. Gamba, we want to gamba them? Wait, what? Fourth girls wants to gamba. You do want a gamba. Okay, you do want a gamba. On odd. But Fourth, tell me, were you going to gamba in the beginning or did somebody force you into gambaing? Because I'm about to start fucking losing my mind. Okay, Fourth gambles 20 on odd. Jesus Christ, I'm going to get a heart attack. We spin. I don't even want to look. Oh, pray. Okay, thank you, God. Oh! Congratulations to me and not to Fulf. Nice try. Try again. Woo, yeah! Jokes aside, thank you, Fulf, for participating. That was very kind of you. Today I'm on a streak, man. Maybe somebody can break my streak. I don't know. Isn't 10 an odd number? 10 is odd. That is funny. They actually cheated me once. Chat gaslit me into the opposite.
Financial district sit perhaps the most controversial buildings in Britain right now. This is the Old Royal Mint. It's now owned by China, which wants to turn the 2-hectare site into what many here are calling a mega embassy. Beijing bought the mint in 2018.
When Americans build massive embassies, it's just embassies. But when the Chinese build an embassy, it's a mega embassy. Yeah, boti pas materoj.
Mystery, intrigue, and rumours of spying.
It's
Mystery-
a fucking embassy. They're Yes, they will have spies in the embassy. Yes, they will spy on people in the embassy. It's like 80% of what an embassy does. Always has. What in the mother of Jesus? Mega communist sub. Thank you very much, Kamarad Eric. Embusi.
Wonderful.
No, don't give my embusi to the Chinese. Okay, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. We'll just listen to this. Just listen to what the Brits are like. They have so many problems. This is what they're like. The conservatives and the reform guys are unified on.
Intrigue and rumours of spying. Behind high fences, just what lies beneath. It's all starting to sound like a Netflix espionage thriller, but this drama...
Guys that are not from the States, have you guys ever seen the American embassy you have in your country?
A new child soldier.
It's a base.
Subscriber.
In 100% of all countries, it's a base, right? And that's like, okay, that's what an embassy is. Like, I'm not even going to like shit talk that. Every country tries to make it a base. America has a lot of money, so they make them into really big bases. But when China does it, it's an embassy. Z Reslon, thank you very much for your taxes, my friend. Thank you very, very much. I want to gamba on even. Okay, my friend. Reslon spins on even for 5 gift subs. And Reslon, tudum. Dude, I'm very lucky today. It's going to hit 6. No, it is going to hit 6. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Congratulations, Reslon. You have gifted the community an additional $5. Good for you. Bad for me. That's the point. That's why it's ethical gambling, because you get to...
Wonderful. A new child soldier.
Spoke too soon,
subscriber.
mofo. Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I'm a dumb fuck. I'm a doomy fookie.
is real. The former Royal Mint site next to the Tower of London is where China wants to build its so-called super embassy. If approved, it would be the largest in Europe.
Oh no, not the big embassy.
Not if they can help it. Today, hundreds protested outside the proposed embassy.
We should absolutely concern about their human rights record and their track record and how they use this diplomatic tool as, you know, a spy hub survey on British people here in the UK.
The Chinese MAGA.
Yes, it's an embassy. That's what every embassy does. We can lie to ourselves that it doesn't, but no, every embassy fucking uses it as a neutral territory from which they send out their fucking spies and shit to do stuff around the country.
Embassy is a threat to our...
Oh, man.
Wonderful. A new child soldier. Subscriber.
Thank you, Shire. And welcome to the community, baby. Thank you very much for your first month.
national security.
It's heartbreaking to see that the Chinese influence...
Oh, this guy! Hey! I haven't seen this guy in so long. Woo! Oh.
It's now reaching its hands.
I don't think he's even on Twitter anymore.
Over to the UK.
What's the danger, do you think?
Your safety. Your safety. Your safety as British citizens.
Reportedly, there are plans for a secret basement here with more than 200 underground rooms which run alongside sensitive cables to the financial centres, enough to unsettle a city already alert to espionage and interference.
It is wrong for this super embassy to be built here on this site.
Britain, you are literally a dead swamp empire. And what are they doing? Bro, like, what the fuck, dude? We can't have them fucking Chinese building no goddamn big embassies in my fucking front yard, bro.
It's understood that MI5 have already signed off the plans, and security experts... It's understood...
The CCP is coming. MI5 warned, Labour kneeled. Not bad, but I thought when you get money from the fucking feds, like, you can get more expensive looking banners, dude.
The MI5 have already signed off the plans, and security experts say any secrecy isn't an uncommon part of the diplomatic game. However, this former foreign secretary thinks it could be a dangerous move.
And don't forget that in Manchester, in the consulate there,
They actually dragged a protester onto their ground and beat them up. Nothing ever happened to them. Nothing. The government was weak.
I mean, MI5, it's understood, have signed this off. Do you know better than MI5 in terms of
No,
security?
we know many people in MI5 who go, no, 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 no. Okay? When government asks MI5 to say something nice, well, we can cope with this. Really?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
A spokesperson for the Chinese embassy strongly condemned what they called the despicable
Look, they painted him as a little dog pig. Oh, he's a little dog. Good God, oh, it's so funny.
by anti-China elements. While the government say it's taking everything
No to China's mega embassy.
into consideration before its final decision.
No embassy here. No embassy here, bro.
But Beijing's patience has been wearing thin. Last year, China warned of consequences amid an escalating row over its delayed application. And in what could be a headache for the government, its own Labour MPs are opposing the plans.
I am in no doubt that this mega embassy should not be allowed to go ahead. My constituency, Stratford and Bow, is home to one of the largest Hong Konger populations in our country.
Hong Konger! Hong Konger! I'm a Hong Konger! What's your ethnicity, bro? I'm a Hong Konger. You caught me at a very Hong Konger era of my life. Hong Kongers. Marsupičku mater, Hong Konger. Šumadinkar, jebem ti mater, Hong Konger. Oh, I'm a Wisconsin.
Go ahead. My constituency, Stratford and Bow, is home to one of the largest Hong Konger populations in our country. They tell me how scared this proposed Chinese mega embassy is in our neighbouring constituency.
She almost said embassy and she had to correct herself. No, we have to say the scary one, the mega embassy. Say the scary one.
In East London.
But this is no ordinary planning row.
China backs war and Britain pays. Ukraine today and Taiwan tomorrow. Higher bill. China caused the Ukraine war, okay. Higher bills forever. No China super embassy for a regime that wrecks our economy. China doesn't invest in Britain. Yes, famously, only countries that heavily invest in your country get to open an embassy. You know that there is an Albanian embassy in Serbia and there's a Serbian embassy in Albania. Two countries that famously really love investing in each other. Actually, jokes aside, they trade like crazy. Capitalism really do be post-hatred. Thank you, Fata Cheetah, for the 8 months. Thank you very much. Very, very much.
The devil's in the detail. It's about...
This goes so hard. This goes so hard. I know it's AI. I do not care. This goes so hard. Wait, can somebody give me the oh my god, the rock version of the Internationale? The Chinese rock version of the Internationale that Mike plays all the time. Oh, I found it. Wait. These are British libs, right? And Chinese libs. And Chinese Hong Konger. Hong Konger, bro. Hong Kongers. We love the British boot. Please, more British boot in my mouth. I love being a colonial subject. Please. Please. I want to be colonial subjects. I don't want to speak Chinese. I want to speak English. Yes, Chinese libs and British libs. Both equally bad because they're lib. Man must be judged not according to the color of their skin, but according to the level of lib they are. Oh, bro, I see no color, bro. I only see the level of lib you have. Yugo's on 1K. I am every Sunday. I'm 1K. Every Sunday I'm a 1K Andy. Every time I hear UK hogs complain, all I think of is this vid. Hit me by those classics. I consent. We didn't realize how good we had it. Tesco value shower gel. What? What the fuck?
Pence, it'd be fucking worth it. 4p for curry sauce. For 40 pence, you could feed half of fucking Bangladesh. When was the exact time supermarkets turned into such robbing bastards? 78 pence for 6 cans of value cola. It'd be worth getting for when the brats from next door come over so you can drink the good shit and give them this crap. 49p for a Tesco ham sandwich. Perfect for kids' packed lunches. The good thing is if you put these in the kids' lunch boxes, you can expect them to come straight back home the next night. And you can play this game for 3 full days before the sandwich goes out of date. I've done it. 37 pence for a full loaf of bread. We didn't know how good we fucking had it. I once had a loaf of bread from Tesco's and it had an entire fucking rat in the middle that had eaten the whole middle of the bread. I took it back and Sheila on customer services told me to fuck off.
I haven't opened iFunny in so long. Wait, does 9gag still exist? Sorry, I'm having ADHD brain. 9gag. Is 9gag a thing still? My God, 9gag is a thing? It's like Reddit or something? This is the money cat. Like this, and in the next 24 hours, you will receive money. Oh, no. Oh, dead internet theory. Proof that Nigeria is a safe country. They're doing the thing, but it's gonna disappear. Yes. Okay, what are we calling this body type in 2026? In Czechia, we call it cisterna. This is like, is it permanently stuck in like 2013? It's just screenshots from other places. And it's AI slop. Oh wow, it's so sad. I mean, I always thought that 9gag was low-key shit, but still. Anyways, back to Hong Kongers protesting.
About power, security, and money. The relationship with China is worth billions.
I painted him as a Wojak. No, you are weak. I painted him as a giant devil. No, you are weak. I painted him kissing the other president man.
To the UK economy. And in the age of Trump and tariffs, Western governments are frequently turning to Beijing. Welcome. Take Mark Carney.
But yes, that's what I wanted to show you, Chad. This is what the British are doing.
First, they said he.
That is what the British are doing. Lord.
Former Foreign Minister George.
We're going back to Fareed's lukewarm takes. I love watching him because he's like the ultimate normie that was just given a platform for some fucking reason, and he just like his whole like Fareed's take thing is he sits there and he just says like what every normal person thinks.
Joe put it recently. Trump is fast forwarding the future.
Professionally wrong, yeah.
Towards multipolarism. What is at stake here is not America's image, but its future power. China is methodically building one of the most resilient economic ecosystems in modern history, dominating critical mineral processing, achieving scale in batteries and electric vehicles, and diversifying export markets to withstand shocks, sanctions, and tariffs. The only credible U.S. response is not tariffs.
Let's, here in Yugopnik Twitch, we preach, that poverty is a disease that needs to be rooted out, as every normal human being should. But that even while living in capitalism, you should do your best and maneuver your way through said capitalism into a life that is relatively financially stable, while putting in the least amount of effort possible, and of course without exploiting the labor of others, which would render you into a capitalist. So unironically, I know there's a lot of smart people in chat. I know there's a lot of even stock traders in chat. and shit. And some rich people in chat. What's the unironic? Let's put our capitalist hats on for a second. Give me ideas on how somebody could capitalize on China's obvious meteoric rise. How can some chatters make some extra money, or maybe even make it into a career, where they not bet, but where they in a timely manner get in early on stuff that will become quite profitable due to China's rise. Sick money in Chinese ETFs. Not a bad idea. The easiest way to invest in the whole Chinese stock market is to invest in a broad market index. This can be done at low cost by using ETFs. On the Chinese stock market, you'll find 14 indices which are tracked by ETFs. So yeah, why not fucking ETF that shit? I might actually do that. Move to China. That's a great option. Learn Chinese. I will force my children to learn Chinese. I'm not even kidding. I already found them a teacher. Is it hard to buy Chinese ETFs? I have like my 401k or whatever the fuck you call it. It's not called like that here, but I invest a modest amount of my monthly income into the platform, and I put 30% of it to invest in rising markets. In the beginning, they told me put in 10. I'm like, no, let's put. I want to literally put like 70% in rising markets, which is pretty much China, right? In India, I think, but mostly in China. And they told me that it's impossible. They don't let you put more, a bigger chunk of your money in rising markets because of some regulation. It's like, what you're telling me, it's illegal for me to invest in China, basically. It's crazy. Foreigner, it would be hard to invest, but there are general rising markets. Any platforms that you know, anything to help out other chatters, no joke. You can do it through a bank fund, but no, there has to be a digital platform where you could use it to maybe push your cash. Хем učlaniš u stranku, postaneš direktor, napraviš firmu, raspišeš tender, pobediš na svom tenderu, uzmeš Kineze za proizvođače i zadržiš višak, not in English because Balkan joke. Dobar si, brat.
Čvrsta ruka, batine I zatvori.
Here's an idea: create a custom fund for rising markets that doesn't limit people in the percentage they can invest. I don't think it's possible. I think the Chinese are going to block you because they are because the Chinese are protecting their own economy. They don't want just Westerners coming in, like non-nationals coming in and buying out the private section of their economy as wholesale, large-scale investors. Yo, Celticness, what's up, baby? Look at how HD I am, Celticness. Have you ever seen me this HD? Thank you for the raid. I hope you had a great stream. Everybody, please go and follow Celticness. Look at me, Celtic. Look at these focuses. Look. Refocus, camera. What are you doing? Look. It's crazy. Look. I'm a big deal now. I record in 8K, 700 frames per second, 3D avatar printed thing. So thank you very much, man. Thank you for the raid, as always. I need to pay you back, but we always miss the thing. Everybody, please give Celticness a follow if you want a brilliant Northern Slav, as I like to joke. And Comrade, check him out. Let's continue.
Which over the past...
But yeah, somebody low-key, like, tell me, how do you invest in Chinese ETFs? I mean, in China through ETFs.
have coincided with declining manufacturing employment, but ecosystem building of our own.
Speaking of investments, it is hour 3. Invest in this show. Maybe gamba a little bit. Make that line spin, okay? We're like China. We believe in one country, two systems. From time to time, you can have a little bit of capitalism, the Chinese say. We say you can have a little bit of degeneracy. Everybody that buys more than 5 gift subs during gamba time, that you have earned, by the way, can spin the wheel. And if they guess odd or even properly, they will punish the streamer himself, who will have to spend their own money to buy the same number of gifts that you bought and then donate them to chat. Support the show, make the thingy spin, and have some fun is what I say, because it is a Sunday.
The U.S. still has an extraordinary advantage, a vast network of allies and partners that together control most of the world's advanced technology, capital, skill, labor, and consumer demand. In theory, that coalition could source critical materials from friendly countries, spread manufacturing across trusted partners, share research, and anchor markets that remain open and predictable. In practice, America has squandered much of that advantage by treating allies as transactional customers, weaponizing tariffs against them, and turning long-standing commitments into shakedowns.
But this is not a choice. This is what happens organically in later and more unstable periods of a particular country's trajectory through a particular system. That's it. The other people's money ran out. And there is also a rising opposition to your unipolarity. There is no rising opposition to American security. The Chinese do not want to bomb Washington. The only thing that the Chinese are a threat to is American dominance. You understand what I'm saying here? You don't have to like the People's Republic of China. I respect the disagreement we might have there. I genuinely do. But believing that the rise of China is an existential threat for the United States of America makes you into a stupid-ass fucking shill for empire, okay? It is an existential threat to America being an imperialist power, of America doing gangster shit wherever it fucking wants to. That it is a threat to, yes. But shouldn't you like that, even if you dislike China as a leftist? Shouldn't you like that? Shouldn't you like that? It's a very serious question. Shouldn't you like that? Enemy of my enemy is my friend type of shit. That's why I don't think like supporting China, supporting the death of unipolarity is like a pro-China take. It's an anti-imperialist take. Can we potentially be completely betrayed by the PRC at some point, where they simply replace the current empire? I do not believe it is likely because of the difference in systems. Is it possible, though? Sure. But right now, I have the enemy in front of me. If I start thinking about what happens the day after, the day after, and the day after, I will have to live for 1,000 years. As an American, this empire must fall so the rest of the world can breathe. Yeah. And that does not mean, we'd like to joke around, complete American balkanization, American Civil War, boogaloo, like, is going to go crazy. We fuck around with that, but of course I don't want, like, a billion Americans to die. Like, of course not. When we say we need empire to die, we mean America's ability to be empire globally. That's what we mean. You can have your burgers in whatever the fuck and just chill over there. We just don't want you to have the ability to shove those burgers into our mouth and tell us this is the way you're going to live now. I don't think that's a lot. That's asking a lot. I don't think that's asking a lot. I really don't think that's asking a lot.
Washington has encouraged others to hedge. Most extraordinarily, The U.S. is no longer the trendsetter. It is retreating to protectionism and nationalism, while the world is searching for more trade and cooperation. For decades, the global order was built on an American platform. Trade flowed through U.S.-designed institutions. Security rested on U.S. guarantees. Crises were managed, for better or worse, by Washington. The global agenda was set in America.
And that, Fareed, my dear motherfucking friend, is bad. And it could never have lasted forever. It could have never lasted forever. Damn, I'm dropping some true wisdoms today. Support the show. Gamba, gamba, gamba. Make number go up. Come on, chat. Make number go up. Only there's 1,000 of you here, and only 5 Westerners have paid their taxes. That's crazy. You can pay your taxes, and you can potentially spend for them and double them. That is a deal. You get nowhere else.
That platform still exists, but the world is no longer building on it. It is building around it. President Trump announced additional 10% tariffs going to 25% on imports from several of America's closest allies, including the UK, France, and Germany. The move is part of his increasingly serious effort to pressure Denmark to give up the semi-autonomous territory.
No, my friend, I counted you as developing world taxes. 10 gift subs is first world, quote unquote, majority ethnicity. 10 gift subs is first world minority, and 5 is developing world. Thank you, Abydos Inc., for your first 2 gifties. Thank you very much, my friend.
Of Greenland. For more, I'm joined by 2 former top State Department officials. Richard Haas is the President Emeritus of the Council on Foreign Relations, served as Policy Planning Director under President George W. Bush. Anne Marie Slaughter is the CEO of the think tank New America. She held the same job at the Obama State Department. Richard, this strikes me as perhaps the greatest crisis in transatlantic relations, because I mean, you have
transatlantic relations. Read in unipolarity and empire. Yes, Shadow K. What's up, baby? I haven't seen you in a second. Happy Sunday.
Member state, the
think
United
tank. Yeah, it's hilarious.
States, essentially threatening to annex territory from another NATO member state. Where does it go from here?
You know, Fareed, we talk about all sorts of difficult issues on your show, what to do about China, Gaza, Ukraine, Russia, Venezuela, what have you.
And
this is not a difficult issue.
And that is the problem. You see what you just said? It's not on you, bro. It's not on you, bruv. It's not on you, bruv. That's the point, bruv. Why am I saying bruv? I don't know.
Obviously, we want to have closer security and economic ties with Greenland, and I get it. That's why God invented diplomats. Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, should simply be over there negotiating a mutually acceptable agreement. These tariffs, these threats, this mafia-like talk, you could be forgiven for thinking the United States wants to provoke a crisis with Europe. Europe has been the, shall we say, least favored part of the world for this administration since it took office almost a year ago. So the real question is whether the president backs down and we avoid, if you will, a crisis. But even if that happens, Fareed, let's be honest, a lot of damage is already baked into the cake. I think essentially this reinforces the European view that the United States is no longer a partner, can no longer be depended on, reinforces all the doubts that have emerged because of our policy towards Ukraine and Russia. Essentially, it's what you were just talking about in your opening statement. This is just going to flip the perception of the United States as an ally, a partner, someone to work with, and increasingly we're either someone to work around or even worse, work against.
Anne-Marie, when you look at this situation,
correct, yes.
What do you think the Europeans should do?
Nothing can be done about this except massive global war. Okay? That's the only way you reset the deck of playing cards on the blackjack of geopolitics.
What are
and it's already very, very difficult.
their options?
I think it's time for the Europeans to actually fight fire with fire. Your column this week talks about how they have resisted a trade war, how they've pursued a strategy really of broadening their own trade agreements.
This is one rare thing about Americans, and I don't know what. I'm just in a really good mood today, and I'm giving compliments to Yanks. I'm trying to calm them down that we don't dislike them. We just dislike the fact that they can, run around the planet and do imperialism and shit. But arguably only in Yankee land. Okay, not only in Yankee land, but most other countries, if you say what this lady just said, everybody would call you a traitor immediately. And I understand that what this lady just said, probably 60% of Americans will call her a traitor, but there's still the 40 that will not. There's aspects of the American mind that I appreciate, that I do appreciate. A certain level of idguf, a certain level of, a certain lack of blind loyalty to your state's decisions. It's nice. They could compliment you, you American pieces of shit. They could compliment. It is nice. You can rarely see that anywhere else, You guys are the loudest anti-Americans out there. In speech, of course. You're not the loudest when it comes to picking up an RPG. The developing world is the loudest in their anti-Americanness in that manner. But you understand what I'm saying. But only when they are the hegemonic superpower, by the way. Yeah, probably. Maybe when they're not the hegemonic superpower, they're not going to be able to shit-talk their foreign policy. Too much glaze. Don't stroke their egos. Jesus, okay. I have created a monster that is out America badding me, okay? My career is creating tens of thousands of people that believe America bad. And now I say a single good thing about Americans, and you guys want to shoot me. Holy Mother of God, is this what the leadership of the original NKVD felt like?
I agree with that. At this point, I think they have to use what we call the bazooka, which is to impose 25% tariffs on the United States, maybe across the board.
Jesus, this is crazy. Sorry, but this only happens in Yankee land. It's kind of cool. The most American thing you can do is hate your own government. Hell yeah, brother. That is the type of American I can sit behind, brother. Give you my rakia, you give me your moonshine, brother.
Maybe only on the tech industry, but they have to act as a unified body, and they have to say enough. Otherwise, it just gets pushed and pushed and pushed, and that's exactly what the president is counting on. At this point, people laugh that he's the biggest force for European integration, and since Jean Monnet, this is NATO.
I like this lady.
And I agree with Richard. I think the damage here for NATO is probably lasting no matter what happens. But if Europe really wants to say...
Okay, as we slowly start to wind down the stream, I really wanted to check this out. Everybody kept... so many people sent me this link. Even my normie friend sent me this link. And I didn't even know who fucking Nick is. And then I realized, it's the guy that goes interviews black people and says that they say things that don't say, and then makes absurdly fascist pitches on why they all should get deported and shit. I was like, that guy. And then people were like, man, this guy is literally just lobotomized. And I was like, okay, he's probably stupid, but come on, it can't be that bad. But apparently it's really bad. So I want to check it out. You guys probably watched it. If you know what, a cool part that I should skip to, because it's 1 hour, obviously we're not going to watch the whole thing, tell me where to skip, okay? Info hazard. You want to play a drinking game? No, I can't drink. Actually, I can't drink. I drank yesterday. But it will be a cool little drinking game. Drink every time he says something fucking stupid. Probably would be dead. Lobotomized Charlie Kirk, dude. I had to wash myself after watching it. Kubashi had to wash himself, but Kubashi, you're the most like edgy person in here. You were trying to kill the chat. I know I got a lot of other fellow grass touchers in chat, so I want to introduce them to this. Are we ready? Let's do it.
A video on the expose of the fraud in Minnesota is the most viewed video ever by a creator, longer than 10 minutes, than anybody other than the name of Mr. Beast. Altogether, it did around 500 million views.
Who do you think were the main people who signal boosted the video and brought
is the most viewed video. My video on the expose of the fraud in Minnesota is the most viewed video ever by a creator, longer than 10 minutes, than anybody other than the name of Mr. Beast. Altogether, it did around 500 million views.
Who do you think were the main people who signal boosted the video and brought it into that true viral orbit?
Elon Musk, who shared the video. JD Vance, he shared the video. You had the Attorney General, well, she actually didn't share it. She reacted to the video a few days later. Literally, quite frankly, every account on X saw that video instantaneously. Health and Human Services.
I'm thinking Stalinist thoughts. When it comes to people like this, you should. When it comes to people like this, you should. This is an information terrorist. I can kill 3 people with a gun. Making a video this popular, pushing this sort of propaganda, can potentially kill hundreds of thousands of people. Yes, this kind of person would be arrested and would be educated into a better understanding of the reality of the world. He will be de-lobotomized and then released. No, of course, we are past the 1940s. There will be no fucking physical torture or any of that stupid shit, right? Like hardcore, like painful incarceration, blah, blah, blah. But yes, this person will be incarcerated. This is, I'm not having a tanky moment or whatever the fuck some libs might call it. I think even liberals agree on this, right? You don't get to you don't get to agitate for a large-scale discrimination, hatred, and bigotry without some hardcore fucking consequences. So yes, motherfucker, yes, people like this are getting arrested. Yeah. Good morning. What, you're just gonna let him keep doing this and sabotage the revolution from inside out? Fuck that.
They froze all funding to childcare inside of Minnesota, and then they're asking for businesses to prove that they are legit businesses before they give tax dollars to these businesses that are.
You know, he's really too stupid to even know how wrong he is, but that's the point. A true commie believes that everybody can be shown how wrong they are, and that most of the quote-unquote wrong people are just extremely stupid, and that's why they're wrong. And that's why they need some additional education. And that's what we give them. And of course, the only people that would go through these incarcerated education programs would not just be people that have bad takes, but people that, because again, we should grow out of this like 1920s like Bolshevik mentality, because it's not the 1920s anymore, and that shit literally would sabotage the revolution from the inside. So who gets quote unquote forcefully educated? The ones that use their lack of information on a topic as a means to damage society, to damage the revolution, to damage the socialist cause. The ones that yielded with a knife. The rest, though, the other 100,000 or 10 million idiots, if we are true socialists and believe in material conditions molding a person, will be, introduced to being a civilized, class-conscious human being by living in said socialist society, engaging in normal education programs, watching movies, reading the newspaper, buying a nice new book, etc., which will slowly mold. The only people that get, quote unquote, incarcerated don't get incarcerated because they have the wrong opinions. Fuck that. That's not how you. I do not support that. I do not. They get incarcerated when they're wielding it as a knife. It makes no sense. If we're going to incarcerate somebody that is stabbing people, we should incarcerate somebody that can potentially, through the use of their mouth, their platform, their whatever, potentially harm hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, millions of people. You're harming someone, you're removed from society until you're deemed rightful to return to said society because you've changed. End the fucking conversation. Oh, Yugo said people's police. Yes. Yes. Da. Okay? Da. The fuck is this? Weird people are not biological fascists. Often times your run-of-the-mill fascist is just obey the next confident person with a populist message. Yes, absolutely.
Are not really businesses.
As far as that main center that you visited, Quality Learning, aka Quality Learning Center.
Yeah.
Was there ever any kids there in the first place?
No. So that daycare center, it's been operating fraudulently. It's actually had over 90 violations over the past few years. And the day that I went there at 11 a.m. Their operating hours are from 2 to 10 p.m., they're now saying. And that's actually not legal.
So you said you went there at 11 o'clock in the morning?
Yes.
And their operating hours are between 2 and 10 p.m.?
Allegedly.
But if that is true, would it have made sense that you didn't see any kids there?
Yeah, it would have made sense if I didn't see children there. Either way, whether I was there when kids were supposed to be there or not, why are all the windows boarded up? Or why are all the windows blacked out? Why is there no phone number that leads to anywhere? These businesses are supposed to be operating to serve children. People should be able to check in their child there and their children into these daycares. It's literally impossible.
Did you see some of the footage released by CBS Minnesota affiliate station that showed kids entering and exiting the facility?
Yeah, the one on the ABC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that one received over $1 million. It's licensed for 40 children.
Motherfucker that's going to a place to film children be like, why the fuck are the doors darkened out? Maybe so that creeps can't film children. What was that meme? That Onion article. This reads like an Onion article, this whole interview. And we haven't even started.
Yes, I believe they go in there the day after I had posted my video. Obviously, they're going to have children there when they're getting all this heat.
I take my kids here, 2 o'clock to 10. Yeah, there's a lot of kids inside.
And same thing at that daycare. Why are all of the windows blacked out? This is a daycare. Why can't a lady just give me a paper to enroll a child? This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children.
Well, I guess maybe. I'm just trying to think from all perspectives and help you clear up some misconceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, I figure like if you're going with a camera and like 3 or 4 dudes, some of whom were like larger security looking guys, some had face gaiters on, maybe there's a fear that there's like something weird going on or it just seems unfamiliar and they feel like they don't want to let you in.
Yeah, they might feel that fear, but if they're...
Wait, I didn't know this. Motherfucker walked around with motherfuckers that look like me. And then, I don't know, school teachers or daycare teachers would open the door and look. There's a guy with a camera, and then there's a motherfucker that looks like me, and she's like, get the fuck away from here. And he's confused on why they told him to get away from it. What the fuck? What the? You literally have to have a code to be buzzed into most daycares? Yes. Don't even get me started. This is incredible.
They're operating legally. Why would they have anything to fear? And the neighbors around it said they have not seen a child there for 8 years. And if you go on Google Maps right now, you can actually see the images of the daycare progress over the past few years. And starting in 2021, the door is boarded up from the image from Google Maps. So I think if you show that, it's actually pretty crazy to see. And then they move the building and they cut open
This guy's lobotomized. Yeah, I understand now why you call them lobotomized.
A door on the backside of the building as well, where they had a Quality Learning Center. One man...
Yeah, so that the kids don't get run over by a car. and so they can have a spot outside where they can keep the kids before the parents pick them up. Have you ever seen a daycare? What?
Living there since 2017, hasn't seen a single child. And when I go and post my video on X, a lot of people were saying, well, Nick, you went during winter break. Well, actually, I went December 16th. School was still in session, so kids should still be going to daycare. The following days after the video then goes viral and gets over 100 million views, they have a person come out and he says, no, we're open. I'm the manager. I'm the son of the owners. We're open. At that same time, simultaneously, the lady who's in charge, the Commissioner of Children of Minnesota, says the daycare closed a week ago.
Quality Learning Center, which Brown says permanently closed last week.
While we have questions about some of the methods that were used in the video, we do take the concerns that the video raises about fraud very seriously.
So I film my video, daycare is allegedly open. Then a few days later, the lady says that the daycare was closed while that guy is outside telling people that the daycare is open.
I mean, it seems like that learning center has had a serious history of violations.
Quality Learning Center, yes.
Yeah, going back to 2020.
Yeah, it's literally not a daycare.
But how could they have violations related to childcare if there was no kids there?
Yeah, the way they're operating inside of there, they had the violations. Those people are not able, they were operating fraudulently inside that daycare.
But fraud.
Oh my God, poor kid. Oh, actually, no, not poor kid. Fuck this kid. Why do I feel bad? He's complete loboto head. You said, Barry, my love, Barry, where you at? What did you say? 34th minute. Amore mio, Barry. What did you say? 34. Yes, 34. So you're gonna cry about the Kirk getting kirked?
That's Minnesota. The same as a pirate.
How do you gain credibility and trust? Well, you say a fact for a fact.
And the fact is that the first thing I think of when I think of Somalia
and the fact is, what are Somalians known
Phillips.
for? Pirating.
Well, that's in Somalia. There's no pirates in America.
Who's stealing all the money in Minnesota?
Not the same as a pirate.
That is piracy. So how do you gain more trust? Well, don't be afraid to say a fact or an opinion.
Even
when
if
you
I know that I'm dumb.
Yes.
This is incredible praxis by Channel 4. Don't debate them, interview them. This is actually incredible praxis. He's proving all of us, at some point even I was that fucking idiot. Like, don't platform. He's like, no, I'm going to platform the shit out of this fascist. I'm going to platform him so fucking hard. I'm going to platform him so hard that's going to make him so transparent that people are going to think that he's mentally disabled and lobotomized. Channel 5, sorry. I'm confusing my channels, okay? This is what incest and bloodlines creates.
By not saying anything about the death of Charlie Kirk as well, I thought that was pretty messed up. In a way, he's somebody just like me and you who was making videos, putting it on the internet, and then people literally killed him. I thought that was...
Oh yeah, I would arrest you, yes, 100%.
Kind of...
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Messed up of you to not...
I would create a law in which agitation for bigotry under false pretenses is punishable by law, yeah.
Publicly denounce that was you who was making videos, putting it on the internet, and then people literally killed him. I thought that was kind of messed up of you to not publicly denounce what happened to Charlie Kirk.
I did.
I never saw anything on Instagram.
What am I supposed to say?
You never shared anything.
I interviewed the guy who was debating him while it happened. And I mentioned a bunch of times that it was horrible and it represented like one of the worst pivots in American politics ever.
And I didn't even watch the interview because I didn't want to watch that.
Well, you should watch it.
I don't want to.
Why? It's historically relevant.
It is historically relevant. I did lose respect for you when it felt like you went silent.
Well, you should watch the
You just said that he...
video because I say some stuff in it.
Okay, cool.
Do you ever see...
This feels... I understand Kubashi, one of the chatters said, after watching this video, I had to go shower. I understand now completely.
A world in which independent media will overtake corporate traditional media.
Well, we still have boomers and they're still watching TV, so that is a lot of their audience. But when me and you are 50, 60 years old, Do I think that CNN and those companies will be able to operate at the scale that they're operating right now? I think CNN has around, I know they have more than 1,000 employees, and it took one person to expose $110 million in fraud in Minnesota. And then when he does expose it, they investigate the person who exposed the fraud versus investigating the fraud taking place. Nobody has trust in them. Their trust is at all-time low because people like me are able to go and talk to the liberal woman calling me an ICE agent outside the daycare, and also talking to the man who's lived there for 8 years who's never seen a child. It's impossible for them to do that.
So you think once boomers go?
Yeah, I think once boomers go and once my grandparents aren't here anymore.
Which we don't want to happen, but it has to happen.
Well, it's just a part of life that people will die.
Yeah.
But at that point, I think mainstream media will not really be a thing.
So what can we do?
This concept I will call the zoo experience for the terminally online pilled. The zoo experience for the terminally online pilled.
Avoid the mistakes.
No, it doesn't flow off the tongue. The zoo experience for the unemployed.
Mainstream media made in the past, because at one point they were quite trusted.
Yeah, at one point they were quite trusted, but actually, were they? Do we know that the history books are correct when only the victors write the history? And at that time, they didn't have social media.
Ooh, wow, bro, incredible.
About what
never heard that one before.
Information at that time.
I'm just talking about like Walter Cronkite, like when there was like 2 stations and like, you know, there wasn't such a divisive news media.
This is what the average iPad kid will become, right? Damn. Should I go like anarcho-primitivism pilled and just go to the forest?
Media corporate competition taking place to where people were competing for views by using pundits and having a 24-hour news cycle, like when the written word also meant more as well. There was more faith.
Well, I can't speak on that because I wasn't living that generation where you had to get on
You
your
could
TV.
even go back, I mean, honestly, the 24-hour news cycle, if you talk to older people like in their 30s and 40s, post 9/11 was pretty much the first time where cable networks had to keep their airways on all the time. So they started filling slots with not correspondents and not field pieces, but just pundits. So what they would do is they would get somebody, 2 people who fundamentally disagree, and just have them yell at each other for like 2 hours to drive up engagement and keep people watching. So news kind of became like soap opera. Everything kind of became about engagement, like almost like reality TV.
Barry.
And then gradually trust faded because it became so partisan.
Yeah, I think it's also a sign of the times that we're seeing distrust and we're seeing the world get a little bit crazier as well.
So, I mean, what do you think we need to avoid?
What do we need to avoid? I think we need to call things out for facts. And you shouldn't be afraid to say when I ask you, what are Somalians known for? You're afraid of your viewers watching this video calling you a racist or Islamophobe.
No, to clarify.
You knew that word, Andrew. You knew you were saying pirate. You knew, in your mind,
well,
you
you're
knew
asking
pirate.
me to think in a stereotypical mind, what do I think comes, what's the
you're
first
afraid to
stereotype?
say it, though.
You're asking me what's the first stereotype that comes to mind when I think about Somalia?
I said, what are they known for?
They are known by Americans who don't know Somalis.
And what are they known for?
Exactly. If you ask me, what are Kazakhs known for? Like good food, like insane dances, and being strong. I don't fucking know. Those are my stereotypes. But if you ask me what Kazakhs are internationally stereotypically known for, I would say, oh, Manam Bharat, right? That would not render me to being a bigot because I'm showing that bigots only identify, Kazakhs with Borat. Right, both of those can exist at the same time, maybe.
Across the West for?
But the West is very much indoctrinated by Hollywood. I'm just saying, I want to wait to answer that before I actually.
I literally watched one movie about Somalis, and he's like, they're pirates, bro.
Have engaged with the community on a level to where I can actually say like they're known for this type of thing.
Well, when they're committing 89% of the fraud in Minnesota.
But that wasn't the question. You asked me, hey, what are Somalis known for? And of course, I'm thinking of the movie because it's a Tom Hanks Hollywood blockbuster.
Yeah, but it's a fact that they're committing some sort of piracy in Minnesota. 89% of the fraud is committed by Somalis, and that's a fact. When we talk about building trust in the future of media, we need to be able to say things for what they are. If Tim Walz goes on TV and calls people like me a white supremacist, it's my responsibility to call Tim Walz.
I'm a white supremacist.
He's enabled this to happen because he's afraid to be called a racist or an Islamophobe. Meanwhile, our generation can't even buy a home. Meanwhile, people are stealing millions of dollars. And he's afraid to say that because he's too afraid of being called a racist or an Islamophobe?
I think the one main issue that I feel like unites the left and the right, at least in a certain income bracket in the U.S., would be affordability.
Yes, 100%.
I think it's probably the main issue that we're talking about.
Mhm.
Deep down, I think that the main difference here is diagnosing how we can get to that point. You know, because when you're talking about your issue with fraud, you mentioned healthcare being expensive.
Yeah.
So we're all talking about the same thing here. It's just, I think the main difference is how are we going to get there?
And then when we have someone like Elon Musk.
Gamba. Chat, I'm going to kill myself if I keep listening to that guy. I cannot listen to that guy anymore. Now I'm going to send you to Zakap. Zakap rated me last time. I'm sending you to Zakap. Have some fun with Zakap. Zakap is a brilliant philosopher. Give them all your fucking follows. I'm going to go eat. And I'm going to see you next week. Check out the fucking, check out the Discord for the schedule. Today was a 10 out of 10 stream. This is, if it can always be like this, I would love my job. I already love my job, but if streams can be like today's stream, incredible. 1K Andy every Sunday, bro. Every Sunday we're a 1K Andy. Let's try and be a 1K Andy during the other days. So if you watch me only on Sunday, come hang out during the week. Sometimes it's even more interesting. It's cozier. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And if you want to know when I stream, you check out the schedule down below. Or you check it out over on Discordino. Over on Discordino. Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh, man, I'm so fancy with this camera, dude. Goddamn. Thank you to everybody that oiled me up. Thank you to all the taxpayers. We finished this week with 20 taxpayers. That is very impressive. Thank you to 5 Western taxpayers and the many, many developing world taxpayers that have paid their taxes today. Thank you to everybody that followed. Welcome to this community of ours. My stream is more of like a bar, right? It's not a classroom. So chat is as important as me. We bounce off of each other. That's the whole idea. So welcome to the community. Thank you for following. Welcome to the community. Thank you for investing in it with your time more than anything else. Let's, I guess, go and buy Chinese ETFs and stuff. Bye. Oh, shit. Did it go? I think it went. Fuck.